Police still trying to figure out exactly what happened. This happened off of Aurora Avenue North near North 98th Street. A lot of people opened fire on the victim as he was sitting in the car. They say multiple people. They drove away before officers arrived. Anyone who knows what may have happened should call the SPD Violent Crimes Tip Line. Governor Bob Ferguson says he's not ruling out deploying the National Guard in response to federal immigration enforcement.
ICE is, to be blunt, completely and totally out of control. To say that I'm angry is not the right word. I don't have the right word for how I feel about it.
Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown held a press conference yesterday condemning ICE after a Border Patrol agent killed an ICU nurse in Minneapolis over the weekend. Ferguson says he met Sunday with the head of the Washington National Guard to discuss potential scenarios here, but declined to share details. Secretary of State Steve Hobbs has certified Initiative 26001. It would fully reinstate the so-called Parents' Bill of Rights initiative that passed into law back in 2024. Last year, Democrats in the legislature made several changes to the law, including removing parental access to student medical records. Now, Let's Go Washington founder Brian Haywood is back with this new initiative to restore the original measure. Haywood says parents don't co-parent with the government. Democratic leaders in the legislature have indicated they will not hold hearings on the initiative. That means voters will likely decide in November. Pierce County Forest Investigation Team is looking into a stabbing that led to a deputy-involved shooting that left the suspect dead. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has details.
The victim told deputies a man approached early Sunday morning in Parkland and asked his religion. When he answered Christian, he and his dog were stabbed multiple times before the suspect fled. Deputies found him a short time later. Shots were fired and the suspect, still armed with a knife, was killed. Sergeant Charles Porsche with the Pierce County Force Investigation Team on the independent investigation now underway.
Collecting evidence, beginning to do some of the interviews for them to put together their investigation of what happened there.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A popular snowboarding competition is being called off at the Mount Baker ski area. Simply not enough snow for this year's legendary banked slalom. Gwen Howitt is one of the organizers.
And because we're 100% dependent on nature, that's just the reality of what we're having to work with right now. And so we are now canceling the 2026 legendary bank slalom.
Contest has been held every year since 1985. Seattle Times reports the event is one of the longest-running snowboarding competitions in the world. 5:13 now, time to get a check on traffic, and Chris Sullivan is watching the early morning commute.
And no problems out there, Charlie. We're doing really well so far, as you would imagine. A little extra volume this morning I saw coming down I-5. I think a lot of people are maybe off-shifting just a little bit to avoid what we're dealing with a little bit later in the morning on southbound I-5. But right now, only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, which is great. Federal Way to Seattle, nice and easy. Got a 35-minute trip for you. Under 40 from Puyallup to Renton, no real action. Even in Auburn as of yet. Renton to Bellevue's at 15. The Lake Bridges are quiet. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. So we are off to a very good start on this Tuesday morning. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And looking at the forecast, cloudy today. There is a chance of showers toward later this afternoon. Headed for a high of 51. Showers tomorrow, and then rain on Thursday and Friday. Might dry out by Saturday. Seattle right now is 34. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a look at the 2026 tax season.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys.
Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
The power of 12 is one is real.
Host City going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it.
The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Time for a weekly visit with CBS Money analyst Jill Schlesinger and her blog, JillOnMoney.com. Jill, it's the most wonderful time of the year, maybe for CPAs. It's tax season starting.
Yeah, as of today, open up. I know most people are not filing this early, and you shouldn't because you probably don't have all of your tax documents yet. Just make sure you have that. You'll get all of the income stuff by January 31st. You might get investment account stuff, dividends, interest, all those extra forms. They usually come in a month later, at the end of February. Check if you've got mortgage interest. Sometimes they're online much earlier. So we have an April 15th deadline. Of course, the best way to file is electronically using direct deposit. And that way, if you are due a refund, you'll receive it hopefully within 21 days, according to the IRS. Let's have a moment here and pause for your refund. Refunds this year could be big. Last year, they averaged $3,100. But this year, we've got that whole big tax law that went into effect for last tax season, was voted on last summer. So here's why this could be a big tax refund year, that you have a lot of changes in the tax code, but companies didn't change your withholding, right? So what that means is you may have over-withheld based on your tax status, and you would that means, that doesn't definitely mean it, but you could get a big refund this year, even bigger. So, I don't love refunds because you're lending money to Uncle Sam interest-free, but, you'll take it.
What should I actually be looking at in terms of deductions this year that I might not have had under the previous tax policy?
Well, first of all, the IRS has these 4 new provisions for this tax season. So regardless of how you filed with a tax professional on your own, if you're filing on your own, this is all going to be incorporated into the software. So if you use one of these big tax prep software programs, this is all going to be there for you. You don't have to overthink it. But these 4 are interesting. There's a special schedule called 1A that will highlight these. They are all temporary measures, meaning they're only in place for 4 years. And they are all tested on income. If you make too much money, you're not going to get these. But the 4 are a bigger deduction for seniors, a bonus deduction of $6,000 for anyone 65 and older for these 4 years, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and there is a new deduction for auto loan interest. So those are 4 biggies, and I think it's important to remember that. Not that it matters to you, because you're not in such a high tax state. You don't have state income tax. Is that right in Washington?
We do not.
Okay. But anyway, if you have friends, you can, sort of say, oh, don't forget the increased state and local tax deduction. It's going from $10,000 to $40,000. So all that is to say that a lot of things happening. Pay attention. Don't necessarily think you need to get a tax pro to do this unless you had something significant happen last year or some big change in your life. Otherwise, you should be fine to just use whatever method you did last year.
Jill, I find myself when I am doing taxes one week and I've got the software popped up and they have me go through all my deductions. And I can't think of a single time where adding those all up has not been better or has been better than just taking the standard deduction. It always defaults to the standard deduction after I enter that stuff. What does that tell me?
The standard deduction's high. That's what it tells you. You're like 90% of taxpayers. Standard deduction is $31,500 for a married couple, $15,750 for a single, and if you file as a head of household, $23,625. So the remaining 10%, if they add up all those individual preference items around and say, oh, these are the things I get to deduct if I'm an itemizer, if it's more than that big hurdle of the standard deduction, then you'll itemize. But if you don't, it's not like you're missing out on anything. It just shows you that the standard deduction is high.
I'm not in the 10% is what you're saying, Jill.
Oh, stop. I don't want to even say that. Maybe sometimes that 10% is just more complicated. It doesn't end up to be any better.
All right, so what does it look like in the Schlesinger household right now as you're getting ready for taxes? You have this all in a pile on the desk. How are you organizing?
So I am crazy, like the very narrow percentage of people who likes to file and get my documents very much in order. So what it is I have it's not out. Of course I don't do that. That would be so messy. We have a file, and in the file is one part of the folder is this current tax season documents. One is, certain charitable deductions that I know we're going to take, and all the different folders in between, waiting for like mortgage interest deduction, waiting for, property taxes, like all those different things have their own file. And we're ready to rock and roll. I only need a couple of things. But I do need all my documents from my brokerage firm because that's not happening yet. So again, don't be so quick to file, especially if you have investment accounts. It often will take another month.
All right. And lastly, who you got in the Super Bowl, Jill?
I got the Hawks all the way. What's the line right now?
I think it's a significant advantage for the Seahawks is what I'm seeing, but I'm afraid of the jinx, so I won't say that.
I won't say it either, but let me just say that, again, I said this to you before we came on the air, as a beleaguered Jets fan, after rooting for the Jets, the next category is rooting against the Patriots. So just know that.
Well, welcome to the club. The water is just fine, Jill.
What is it called? The 12th man?
Yeah, the 12th fan.
The 12th fan. That's me. I'm the 12th fan with you. I'm all in there with you, gang. Go Hawks.
Jill Schlesinger, CBS News. And we're headed for a high of 51 today with clouds, showers tomorrow. Coming up, more of the day's top stories. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in one day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
Worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
That's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life.
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I too took the First Mark Challenge and am thrilled to say that First Mark is saving my family thousands. Now that's what I call a victory. Before we got married, my husband had been with the same agent for so long, I think we just assumed that they were working hard to get us the best coverage and save us money, but it wasn't the case. And we only knew that by taking the First Mark Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit. And that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, my family included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge now. It's free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash out refinance and pay off your high interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:31. President Trump is shaking up his immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. Multiple sources tell CBS News that Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino has been reassigned to his regular job at the U.S.-Mexico border. This comes after a second Minneapolis resident was killed by agents over the weekend. Here's CBS's Matt Gutman.
Bavino was quick to say that Preddy had approached officers with a gun, despite numerous videos and eyewitness accounts contradicting those claims.
This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Now President Trump appears to be distancing himself from those characterizations and sending in border czar Tom Homan to coordinate between local and federal authorities.
Local news, Redmond police are searching for a suspect after a woman was stabbed several times over the weekend. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The 50-year-old woman told police she was walking on the Bear Creek Trail near Redmond Town Center when she was attacked. The woman says she didn't know the man, and police are still trying to figure out why. Here's Redmond Police Chief Darrell Lowe.
Investigators continue to canvass the area for video or any potential witnesses that may have seen or heard anything.
The suspect, described as a white or Asian man about 5'9" with a slim build, he was last seen wearing a green hoodie or jacket, blue jeans, and a black cap. If you see him, call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police say a drunken 12 got onto the field Sunday night after the Seahawks' big win.
Police describe him as an overexcited 40-something sports fan. They say with beverage in hand, he climbed down the metal railing and right onto the grass, which is off limits to fans. Security guards handed him over to police, who say he showed all the typical signs of being intoxicated, including slurred speech and alcohol on his breath. He was arrested and banned from Lumen Field. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
5:33 now. Time to check traffic. Here is Chris Sullivan.
He got his money's worth, apparently.
Never
but
going back.
From Lumen. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, the roads right now still looking really good. We're picking up a little bit of action on the Valley Freeway right around Highway 18 in Auburn and at the north end, so you're going to need about 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Then Renton to Bellevue is only about 15 minutes. So we're doing pretty good there to start the morning. The Olympia to Tacoma Drive, freeway speed the whole way, and then Tacoma looks great. Federal Way to Seattle, 35 minutes or less. Not much action yet in Northgate, so Everett to Seattle, Everett to Bellevue, both running right around 35 minutes. The lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
High of 51 today. Perhaps some showers late into the day. Tomorrow looks to be rainy. Right now in Seattle, it's 41.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Time to speak with Casey McNerthy from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office for a Crime and Punishment segment. Good morning, Casey. Good to have you here.
Great to see you, Charlie. How
Happy
you doing?
Blue Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 cases we're going to talk about this morning, including this alleged fentanyl dealer in Belltown. What is this story here?
So he's one of the people who's in court this morning. That's one of the crimes where everybody asks us, what are you doing about drug dealing? And what folks understandably don't see outside of this segment is how often those folks are in court. And so that's one of the cases that we got recently because of the work of Seattle police. He's in court to enter a plea this morning. And so it's important just to let folks know that those cases do actually happen.
And speaking of, 12th and Jackson was just up by there the other day. It is as bad, maybe even worse than I've ever seen it. But you say it doesn't always meet the level of going to your office if there is a low-level drug crime happening right at that location or any other?
Yeah, so the way that lawmakers have written the state law after the change in 2021 is that drug dealing crimes come to our office. So if you have a dealer and the cops make an arrest or an investigation and they send it to us, King County prosecutors charge the dealers. If you have someone using drugs or possessing drugs, just kind of doing the fentanyl lean, those by state law don't go to King County prosecutors anymore. Those go to the incorporated cities.
Okay, good distinction there for people to understand. Casey, we also have this case in Bellevue at Nordstrom. What's happening here?
This is another one of those cases where you see people walk out with a shopping cart full of stuff, and you wonder, what are you doing about this? And there's a guy who's in court this morning who's accused of stealing more than $30,000 from Nordstrom.
$30,000.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's charged with organized retail theft, a couple theft counts, and trafficking stolen property. And it really helped having that case sent to us by Bellevue Police. We couldn't have gotten it to court without them, but once it reaches the level of thousands of dollars, that's where it comes to us, and there's charges really consistently for those kinds of cases.
Okay, so it sounds like you're also drawing this distinction that if it's under a few $1,000s, you're saying that it would instead go to the Bellevue City Attorney?
Yeah, so what the law says technically is over $750 goes to us. Usually we charge it when it's over, I think, $2,500, because that law has been updated, in nearly 20 years for the dollar amount. And there's so many cases that we've got to really take the high amount ones first. But we can also make exceptions too when you have somebody who's notorious or routine or organizing, several thefts. But either way, when you have somebody who's stealing thousands of dollars worth of stuff, that's got to be prosecuted.
Somebody who lives in the South End and has been to the Kent Library many, many times. This is a story that I think a lot of people in South King County are very concerned about. Tell us what happened at the library.
Yeah, just over a week ago, there was a guy who was randomly stabbed in the arm. The good news is Kent police were there right away. They made an arrest. They sent us the case, and he'll be in court also this morning.
Okay, and this is a public safety thing. As somebody who has been to the Kent Library so many times, I can tell you it has some really great parts and programs, dedicated staff, but it is also very intimidating going in there at times with the clientele that goes there. So it also sounds like in this case there is a distinction between a crime that gets to your office, a stabbing, versus a simple assault.
Yeah, it really depends on how bad the assault is. If it's a misdemeanor assault, that would go to the city of Kent. If there's a substantial injury, that would go to King County prosecutors as a felony.
Okay. Casey, those are 3 cases we probably won't hear about elsewhere. So thanks for your time this morning. And who you got in the Super Bowl?
I think Seahawks by at least 7. I think the line was 4.5. That seems like a safe bet. I don't want to jinx it, though, but I'm going to say Seahawks.
That
obviously.
is a jinx, man. All right. Casey McNerthy, King County Prosecutor's Office.
Good to see you, Charlie.
5:39 coming up. More of the day's top stories on Seattle's Morning News.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you.
The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Take the next step to becoming a Seahawks season ticket holder. Join the season ticket holder notification list to secure your spot in line. By signing up, you'll be the first to know when space becomes available on the official Blue Pride waitlist. Plus, receive team news, special ticket offers, and more. Visit Seahawks.com/season tickets to sign up today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
CBS News Brief. Protesters outside a hotel in Minneapolis where Immigration Enforcement Commander Gregory Bovino may be staying. Sources tell us he'll leave today and Borders' Tom Homan will take over after a second deadly ICE shooting. CBS's Matt Gutman.
The agents involved in the shooting here are still on duty but have been reassigned elsewhere, quote, for their own protection. That, as officials here say, they don't know whether these latest moves are enough to change the dynamic here on the ground.
A U.S.-based human rights group reports protesters in Iran are still being killed. CBS's Vicki Barker.
Medical professionals working secretly inside Iran say they've been treating wounded protesters terrified of going to the hospital for fear of being handed over to security forces.
Follow up to this week's massive winter storm, frigid temps. Meteorologist Nikki Nolan.
The cold is actually sticking around through the remainder of the week with more single digits expected.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Looking for a high of 51 today. A chance of showers late in the day. Rain tomorrow. Coming up, we'll speak with New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold live here on Seattle's Morning News.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And You'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. And every Tuesday, we call up New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold to break down the big national stories of the week. David, good morning. And I think we need to start with a story that has national and international attention. Minnesota, as the protests continue there and ICE officials have continued to clash with protesters. Bring us up to speed on where things stand this morning, especially when it comes to the head of the Border Patrol.
Well, what we've seen the last day is that the Trump administration, I think, recognizing that there's this enormous outcry in Minnesota, around the country, and around the world at the brutality of what they did to Alex Purdy, that ICU nurse who was killed, has begun to move some agents out of Minnesota and to move the most sort of best-known face of that oppressive crackdown, this guy Gregory Bovino, who is a Customs and Border Protection official. He's not the head of the Border Patrol, but a lot of people think he is because he's been the face of it in every place where there's been a big Border Patrol crackdown. They are moving him from Minneapolis back to his normal office in California, and there's been some reporting that he's going to retire. So I think there's some sense that he, who was very vocal in spreading the lie that Alex Purdy was out there to hurt those agents, was too hot and has to be moved away. It's a small gesture, but it is a gesture that they realize that they've gone too far.
We learned this morning that President Trump met with DHS Secretary Kristi Noem this morning. Is the New York Times been able to confirm that and know anything about that meeting?
Well, we know it took 2 hours. It was a 2-hour meeting. I think Trump in the past, when something like this has gone bad and blown up in his face, he's wanted to look for scapegoats. And so I think Kristi Noem might be the scapegoat in this case, who could be, if not fired, at least blamed for what's going on there. It's a little bit silly, though, because Kristi Noem is only a vessel for Trump and his advisors, right? There's no way Kristi Noem, is not doing anything that she isn't being told to do by somebody else. That's not the job she's taken on. So if they do try to push her out or blame her or fire her, I don't think anybody should believe that this was happening without Trump's approval.
What did you make of the administration's almost immediate attempt to say this is a guy who pointed a gun and wanted to commit mass murder, yet video evidence, multiple angles, show that was simply not the case?
It's a great moment, and I think a lot of people saw it. It's great because it shows you how willing they are to lie, how little the truth matters to any of those folks. What they wanted was for people to believe that they were right and the protesters were wrong and that there was no way you should question what the Border Patrol was doing. And so before anyone really knew the facts, and certainly before you could know the facts definitively, they were out there with this version that this guy, Alex Purdy, was carrying a gun, that he was waving it around, that he was planning to massacre Border Patrol agents. And they stuck to that lie long after the video evidence had come out to show it was completely wrong. He had the gun in his waistband. He wasn't carrying it. He was carrying a cell phone. The gun only came into the situation because the agents found it and pulled it out. And then even after he was disarmed, they shot him. So it shows you something about the character of everybody involved, up the chain to Trump himself, that was willing to spread that lie before they knew and then after they knew it was a lie. it just shows you something really terrible about their character and about what they're willing to do to, avoid blame.
A significant part of America are Second Amendment absolutists. When you consider that, how do you suppose the Trump administration was able to get their point of view so wrong?
That has been one of the most elements of this, and you've seen different reactions from people. Some gun groups have been very vocal about how this person shouldn't have been targeted because he was carrying a gun. But I think it's been fascinating the way that Trump and Lindsey Graham and some other people, elected officials on the right, who you would think would be very, very pro-gun, and if this was a shoe on the other foot, if this was a Democratic administration shooting somebody because he had a gun in his pocket, they would be apoplectic. But they're basically saying, hey, you shouldn't bring a gun to a protest. Who would bring a gun to a protest? Who would, even if they had it concealed, even if they had it in their pocket, who would bring a gun to a protest? The things that gun control folks have said forever. And to me, it's interesting to see how little purchase that this whole ideal of gun rights had with them. That as soon as it conflicted with something else they cared about, they were like, well, forget it. Don't bring a gun to the protest against me. Why would you do that? It must mean you have bad intent.
Yeah, and you simply need to look at the case of Kyle Rittenhouse to really compare and contrast those two very different reactions, David. Okay, let's talk about Tom Homan. He is now moving to Minneapolis, at least for a while. What do we know about this?
He is somebody who is an immigration hardliner as well. Nobody should think that he is somebody who is sort of soft on immigration. He spent the years Trump was out of office trying to sort of, put out anti-immigrant rhetoric and talk about the need for a crackdown. He is Trump's border czar, which sort of is an amorphous role. It doesn't seem like he's had a huge impact. It seems more like Stephen Miller, the White House advisor, has been running these sorts of things. But the fact that they're putting him in there, I think is a gesture that, okay, we're going to put somebody you don't know in there, and maybe sort of a moment for a fresh start, and an indication maybe that they're going to change tactics. It seems like this has gone so poorly for them that it's beginning to discredit not just what's happening in Minneapolis, but the entire immigration enforcement mechanism that Trump has campaigned on and used from day one.
David, one of the stated reasons for agents to descend on Minneapolis is the reports of widespread fraud by the Somali community. Where do things stand with that? And also, what are investigators looking for here?
Well, and I've written about this. This was a real problem. There was huge fraud in a number of different social service programs involving immigrants from Somalia and East Africa in Minnesota. And there was a lot of support in Minnesota for some kind of enforcement action that would target those communities and deport people who were committing crimes or who were here illegally. But the way they chose to do it, the way they chose to carry out this enforcement, which is just, let's send 1,000 immigration agents and have them just pull over anybody that looks suspicious. It's not A, finding those hardened criminals or those fraudsters, and B, it seems like it's capturing a lot of people who are not Somali. So even if you cared about getting Somali immigrants out of Minneapolis, it's not accomplishing that purpose. To me, that's what's crazy about this, is that there was a real problem. There was a real oversight by state officials that the Trump administration had grounds to come in and take more action. And they've done it in a way that has completely forgotten that original goal and discredited the whole enterprise.
And we just have a moment left, David, but on this story, we have Representative Ilhan Omar being investigated for welfare fraud. What are we learning about this?
Well, that's something that's so hard to see as legitimate in the context of the way the Trump administration has used the Justice Department to go after their enemies. They've gone after so many different Democratic politicians or people that have opposed Trump politically. So it could be that there is something there, but I think it's hard at this point to credit the Justice Department to say, well, they only would have opened that if there was something real there. They opened lots of investigations on the basis of nothing more than this person is Trump's enemy.
New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold. David, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Time to check weather now. We're heading for a high today in the upper 40s to low 50s. And if we take a look at the forecast, tomorrow is when we really start to get more showers. By Thursday, we're talking atmospheric river with a high of 52, 54 for our high on Friday. Coming up, more of the day's top stories. This is Seattle's Morning News.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys. Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
Power of 12 is one is real.
Whole city going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it.
The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Around here, rain isn't a surprise. While others run for cover, Seahawks fans step into the storm, game day ready. And the Pro Shop is how.
Ball picked up. Witherspoon comes near side. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Every game, any weather. We got that. Shop official Seahawks gear in store at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. For 34 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We have developing news from Minnesota this hour, where a federal judge has just ordered the head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement to show up in court.
Judge Patrick Schild says the Trump administration has failed to comply with orders to hold bond hearings for detained immigrants. He has ordered ICE Acting Director Todd Lyons to appear before him Friday to explain why he shouldn't be held in contempt of court. The judge acknowledges ordering the head of a federal agency to appear in person is extraordinary, but he says the extent of ICE's violation of court orders is likewise extraordinary. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's assignment is in for some alterations after 2 deadly ICE shootings in Minneapolis, the latest ICU nurse Alex Pretty's on Saturday. Correspondent Natalie Brand.
Sources tell CBS News there was a meeting between the administration and Secretary Noem, who has been facing some questions about her handling of Saturday's shooting. And we've also learned while she's expected to keep her job, her focus now is expected to shift.
Other changes ahead. Sources tell CBS News several Homeland Security agents will be leaving Minneapolis today, along with Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino. The president is sending Border Czar Tom Homan in to head up the immigration crackdown. People in the southeast have been plunged into a deep freeze after the weekend's deadly winter storm. Correspondent Katie Weiss reports.
Here in Oxford, Mississippi, the town is under a shelter-in-place order due to constant falling trees breaking under the weight of thick ice. Widespread damage to power lines means thousands of people are unable to heat their homes.
The mayor of Pittsburgh has declared an emergency after more than a third of the city's snowplows broke down. The storm is now blamed for at least 22 deaths. President Trump turns his attention to the economy today. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
The president will be in Des Moines.
He will be making a local visit at a local business, and then he will be giving a speech.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says that speech is expected to focus on
affordability and on the economy, and I know he very much looks forward to being there.
The Fed is expected to announce a decision on interest rates tomorrow. New seating arrangements begin today for Southwest Airlines passengers. CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg.
So there's a premium price if you want to sit closer to the front with a little more legroom, and then all the other people sit in the back in coach with assigned seating.
Dow futures are down 310, S&P futures up 15. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's 6:03. Let's check traffic every 10 minutes on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
We're doing pretty well out there, Charlie. To start the day, we do have some braking in the Northgate area on southbound I-5. Nothing you can't handle, though. We're about 40 minutes from Everett down into Seattle. 35 from Everett to Bellevue with just a little hesitation at Canyon Park. Coming the other direction, Federal Way to Seattle is about 40 minutes now. There are brake lights up through the Kent-Des Moines Road. Valley Freeway also about 40 with some braking not only in Auburn, but there at the 405 interchange. 405 itself still relatively quiet, 15 minutes to make the drive up into Bellevue. The lake bridges are still in good shape. Olympia to Tacoma has no problems. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda has the day off. Governor Bob Ferguson says he's not ruling out deploying the National Guard in response to federal immigration enforcement. Meanwhile, one Republican leader is calling the governor and Attorney General Nick Brown the Thelma and Louise of this issue. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with more.
Yeah, Charlie, let's start with the governor's press conference yesterday with Nick Brown, where he said this about the recent deadly ICE shootings in Minneapolis.
ICE is, to be blunt, completely and totally out of control. To say that I'm angry is not the right word.
I don't have the right word for how I feel about it.
Yeah, both of them condemned ICE's actions. Ferguson then said he met with the head of the Washington National Guard to discuss potential scenarios, presumably to have guards protect potentially Washington citizens, but he declined to share any specific details about that.
As angry as we both are, we are focused on preparing to the fullest extent possible for a similar escalation by ICE against our will here in Washington State.
Yeah, there have been protests around the country, of course, including right here in the Pacific Northwest, following the latest shooting by Border Patrol officers of 37-year-old Alex Preddy in Minneapolis over the weekend. In response to Governor Ferguson, chairman of the Washington State Republican Party, Jim Walsh, said, "We should all be concerned about growing protests aimed at federal immigration enforcement, that those protests are boiling over into violence." He's also accusing Ferguson and Brown of escalating the issue, calling them the Thelma and Louise on the issue, that they are encouraging lawlessness, and the two of them are driving themselves off a cliff. So, Charlie, also developing this morning, King County Council might discuss their own plans to handle ICE operations in the county. We are tracking that. Developing News will have the latest throughout the morning.
Okay, a lot of moving pieces here, Luke. Former King County Sheriff is refuting the federal government's version of what happened Saturday.
The Department of Homeland Security says federal officers fired defensive shots after a man with a handgun allegedly approached them and violently resisted when officers tried to disarm him. But former King County Sheriff John Urquhart tells G and Ursula video of the incident shows that Alex Preddy had already been disarmed when an officer opened fire.
You cannot do that. They can only shoot them if there is a clear and present threat.
Urquhart calls on the public to put politics aside and judge what happened based on the evidence alone. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The Secretary of State has certified Initiative 26001. It would fully reinstate the so-called Parents' Bill of Rights initiative that passed into law back in 2024. Now, last year, Democrats in the legislature made several changes to that law, including removing parental access to student medical records. Now, Let's Go Washington founder Brian Haywood is back with this new initiative to restore the original measure. Haywood says parents don't co-parent with the government. Democratic leaders in the legislature have indicated they will not hold hearings on the initiative. That means voters will likely decide in November.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, thanks for joining us. It is Blue Tuesday, January 26th. It's basically going to be a blue day every day until Super Bowl Sunday. If that's okay with you, Sully.
I wore green.
Well, okay.
Today.
Hopefully you'll get the memo.
Okay.
I've got blue jeans on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah, why not? Well, it's good to have you here. You probably noticed that Amanda is not here. If you heard Amanda yesterday, you could hear that cold or whatever it is that's going around. I know my son Sam is at home right now dealing with it. You were dealing with something similar,
I'm
Sully?
going into week 3
of
this raspy, nasty, whatever it is.
I was talking to a guy who works in one of those urgent care places, and he was saying, yeah, not only is the flu going around, but one other, like an RSV or something. So people are either getting the crud or the flu. It's just not a lot of fun this time of year.
I can tell you, no, it's not a lot of fun.
Well, you are a lot of fun, though, Sully. And you'll be here every 10 minutes with traffic on the 3s. Jillian Raftery is out at the news desk, following all the big stories of the day. Nick Krasia is here picking the music. Producer David Burbank here as well. Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Sully, you have a choke point coming up.
Yeah, I do. One that's going to make a lot of kids really happy. The legislature might be cracking down on the next generation of, quotations, e-bikes. So we'll take a look at what they have in mind.
All right. And TikTok, now officially under U.S. ownership. Many users beginning to notice some new censorship. We'll hear from TheHill.com reporter Julia Shapiro about those claims. 6:09 now. Man is fighting for his life after a shooting in North Seattle. Police still trying to figure out exactly what happened. Happened overnight near North 98th Street and Aurora Avenue North. At least 2 people opened fire on the victim as he was sitting in his car. They drove away before officers arrived. If you know anything, you are asked to call the SPD Violent Crimes Tip Line. Man accused of stealing a State Patrol SUV on Christmas Day along I-5 in Seattle has been found incompetent to stand trial. Casey McNerney is with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
A lot of people hear that and think, well, does that mean that the criminal case is dismissed? No, it doesn't. It means that there's a competency restoration tool, and there could be up to 3 of those. And it could take several months.
A judge ordered a competency restoration with the case set to return April 30th. 24-year-old Alexander Eugene Smith is charged with robbery and eluding police. Independent investigation now underway into a fatal officer-involved shooting in Parkland. Pierce County deputies were called to a stabbing early Sunday morning. The victim reportedly asked a man and approached him and asked about his religion. When the victim answered Christian, the suspect stabbed the man and his dog. Deputies tracked the suspect. Shots were fired. The suspect was killed. Here's Sergeant Charles Porsche with the Pierce County Force Investigation Team.
It's always important, to remain transparent, to investigate the circumstances that happen, and to ensure that everything was lawfully done.
Victim and the dogs expected to survive. Popular snowboarding competition being called off at the Mount Baker ski area. Simply not enough snow for this year's legendary banked slalom. Gwen Howlett is one of the event organizers.
And because we're 100% dependent on nature, that's just the reality of what we're having to work with right now. And so we are now canceling the 2026 legendary bank slalom.
Listen to those sighs. The contest has been held every year since 1985. Seattle Times reports the event is one of the longest-running snowboarding competitions in the world. Little palate cleanser here. In the Sunday night's trophy ceremony at Lumen Field, presenter Michael Strahan asked Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald about national expectations for the team heading into the season.
Now coming into the season, you were an afterthought to the Rams, to the 49ers. How did it feel to go through both of those teams to earn your trip to the Super Bowl?
We did not care.
Well, it's an instant classic, and he was asked about it on the Brock and Sock show yesterday on 710 Seattle Sports.
Obviously, I'm really good at talking in public, right? Yes. And so, not in my wildest dreams, I think I'm going to be sitting on a podium talking in front of, I didn't realize how, it's like in front of the, I don't know, whatever.
The world.
The world. And so, I didn't know what I was going to say, but then, this is the God's honest truth, okay? So, I'm sitting up there, I'm listening to Cam talk, and I can't hear it. I'm from here. I'm from, him to me and Dave. Yeah. And so I'm like, man, if I'm talking, do I need to, slow down or something? It's an echo, and I'm here. It's like, when you sing the national anthem, you're, hearing the person in front of you, and you don't hear. So, classic overthink, So I'm like, well, maybe I need to slow down when I'm talking and say it louder because I can't hear. So I'm, yelling into the mic and, talking all slow. That's why I did it. And then shout out to Michael Sean when as Michael Strahan's asking me the question, I thought of Michael Sean's question that he asked me at the end of camp about where they had us slated in the thing, and I was like, bro, we really don't care. Remember? And so that's why I said it, because that's the only thing I could think of.
That's Coach Mike McDonald on the Brock and Sock show on 710 Seattle Sports.
It really gives you an extra appreciation of what G does down on the field pregame. Because I think he makes a great point that when you're talking to the microphone to thousands of people in the crowd, you can't hear what's happening.
Has to be crazy. Has to be crazy. All right, let's get a check on the weather. And for that, we are joined by KIRO 7 TV pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard. Nick, we are on the cusp of a transition, it seems.
Big time. And right now we're, 14 straight days with no measurable rain. And I think we have a legitimate chance to make it 15, which is the record for January dry streaks. But when you head out this morning, it is warmer. We have temps, though, that are still cold in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. But compared to yesterday, warmer. You'll see a lot of high clouds, but also because of that, more than likely beautiful sunrise shots. And we stay cloudy with more clouds all day long. Did I just say cloudy with more clouds? I did.
You did.
So we're going to see cloudy with more clouds and clouds all day long, but dry weather until late with highs in the 40s and 50s, and most of any chance for precipitation not really coming in until probably after about 10 o'clock across the Seattle area. A little earlier if you're in Olympia, maybe like 5 to 7 for the coast. And if we're going to see any rainfall from, say, 10 to midnight, all we need is about 1/100th of an inch, and that would break the dry streak. But it's going to come down to like the last couple of hours, and it's going to come down to very light rain. However, overnight we get rain, and then tomorrow morning we're a little dry to start, but rain pushes in by late morning, and it's wet the rest of the day. And it's pretty much wet at points the rest of the week. A little breezy at times as well. Not the best news for mountain snow unless you're really high up. You might even have a little freezing rain for Snoqualmie Pass tomorrow. This weekend, it's going to be dry and mild, at least in the mid to upper 50s. So the dry streak is ending, but it's just tricky. We kind of want to break the streak. We kind of want to have the record, but it's going to come down to the last 2 hours tonight to see if we do it or not.
Hey, Nick, it's warming up in Minneapolis. It's 0 now.
Oh!
Yeah. It's a hot streak over there.
Yeah, we're going to get to 451 today, so it's balmy here.
Yeah, we'll take it. Right now in Seattle, it's 36. Time to check traffic. Here's Sully.
Yeah, we got a big problem on southbound I-5 just after the forced merge with the loss of the express lanes in Northgate. Up until just about a minute ago, we had only the left lane open for a crash. Right there about the pedestrian overcrossing there at 92nd. Right now, it's the right lane that is blocked, or the exit lane, but we basically have a full all-stop from more than Shoreline all the way down into the scene already. We're up to an hour already from Everett into Seattle. 40 of those minutes from Linwood, so 25 minutes behind schedule as we start the day. Everett to Bellevue, by comparison, is only running 40 minutes total. Coming the other direction, we have an issue going on in the left lane near Seneca, heading into the heart of downtown. I'll be checking into that, see if I can get more for you. Not exactly sure what we have there, but right now, 42 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. The Valley Freeway, not bad, 42 minutes to make it, and then Renton to Bellevue is under 20. The Lake Bridges are quiet. Olympia to Tacoma looking pretty good at this point. Just a little bit of slowing coming down the hill into Lacey. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App, where you can listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates right to your phone. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, most people have a good idea of what an e-bike is, right? Electric bicycle, you power it yourself, but you can get a boost from the motor to help you up hills. But why are you making me sound like an old man? I know what all of this is, Sully.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm making you sick because I need you to understand.
To be your, yeah, of course you do. Okay. Today's e-bikes are more like motorcycles, and the legislature wants to rein them in. Sully is here with details.
And I just want to let parents know that the e-bike you just bought your child might be illegal, and you might not even know it. If it doesn't have pedals, it is not an e-bike under the current rules as we know them. If the legislature has its way, pedal-less bikes could soon be considered motorcycles, requiring driver's ed, a license, maybe insurance, all the other things and fun things that come with a motorcycle. Now, you've probably seen kids in your neighborhood screaming around on these bikes, on the sidewalks, on the streets, no helmets. It's dangerous, and many parents don't know the rules or hazards. Many of them do. I'm looking in your direction, Charlie Harger.
What?
Okay, so here are the regulations that these bikes have, because they haven't really kept up with the new technology. Under current rules, Class 1 e-bikes must have pedals and cannot go more than 20 miles an hour. Class 2 bikes have a throttle assist and a max of 20 miles an hour. Class 3 must have pedals, has a max of 28 miles an hour, but only people over 16 can ride those Class 3 bikes. The max battery strength for all to be considered an e-bike in our state, 750 watts. The legislature wants to create a work group to update the regulations and better define what an e-bike is and isn't. Steve Ellis represents the Association of Washington Cities, who testified in favor of the idea in the House Transportation Committee.
This is not an attempt to undercut adoption of electric bicycles. It's not an attempt to criminalize kids. The intent behind this bill is to provide clarity so that cities can take steps to make sure that these vehicles are operated safely and that no one gets hurt.
House and Senate, they're both considering bills that would redefine e-bikes, saying that they can only go 20 miles an hour. They must have pedals and have no more than a 750 watt battery. Anything other than that would be considered a motorcycle. Bikes not meeting those requirements would be, as I said, e-motorcycles. And then the work group would define who can or cannot ride them, what the training they must undergo, and whether to require licensing or insurance. The work group will have its findings ready in time for the legislature to make a decision in the 2027 session, so next year. Chris Mendoza is a daily bike rider. He says the e-bikes he sees now are too dangerous to be sharing paths with others.
E-bikers, more powerful ones, are zigzagging their way in and out of traffic on the trail. Strollers, toddlers, dog walkers, pedestrians. It's becoming extremely dangerous.
Claire Goodrich was seriously injured when riding an e-bike with a friend. The Kirkland High School student says they lost it when the bike accelerated.
At this age, I was completely unaware of the dangers e-bikes can bring. I was uneducated on how the speed of an e-bike can quickly lead to loss of control.
No one testified against the idea in the House hearing, but I know that these powerful bikes are super popular with young kids. And they're not going to like these potential rule changes. But the thing is it's a good reminder for parents to be exactly sure what it is they are buying or not buying, what the rules are when buying a new bike for your kids. And just remember, if it doesn't have pedals, you shouldn't be buying it for your child unless, you're going to give them motorcycle training, because that's really what they are.
Listen, this is something that hits close to home. Our son has one of these dreaded e-bikes. And if you're listening right now, you're like, well, what does he mean, no pedals? This is an electric dirt bike. It's a dirt bike. It just, instead of having a gas motor, it's powered by electricity. Sam, his tops out. He's 13. His tops out, I think, at 30 miles an hour, something like that. Which
is above the standards.
Which is against the law. It's okay for you to say that. And he has friends who have models that can go freeway speeds. Which is mind-blowing to me, to think that parents would put their 13-year-old on this. And it's not just the riding of the bike, which I get really nervous about. But I think some kids are taking it to the next level. And maybe this is in your neighborhood as well. They kind of adopt that, 1%er. Is it 1% or 3%? I forget what the Sons of Anarchy. It's okay to call
them a gang. Yeah, running around.
That's not Sam's crew, but there are kids.
We have several in our neighborhood that ride as a crew.
Yeah, but they zip in and out of traffic. They, there was this huge kerfuffle on our neighborhood discussion board the other day on Facebook. Some kids were like cutting off people in the parking lot at the grocery store and cursing at adults. So it becomes a cultural thing too, but it's also a lot of, especially middle school boys, love riding these dirt bikes.
Yeah, I get it, but the thing is that there probably should be some regulation on these, and to call them an e-bike is a misnomer. I mean, they really
it's
aren't.
A dirt bike.
I mean, it's a dirt bike.
Yeah. One of the things we also need to consider, I'm not sure if lawmakers are really contemplating this. Ours was imported directly from China. And so there was no middleman, going to the store to buy this. You get it drop shipped. And I wonder if that is, going to be addressed in this, or if there's any regulation that could be done.
Well, they said in turn they would have to be labeled as such with the max power, the amount of wattage. Because, some of those bikes you talk about have a 1,000 watt. Yeah. And that's already 250 more than what's considered an e-bike. Yeah. Again, but if it's being shipped overseas, it's hard to say if they have to follow our state regs.
Yeah.
But that's what this work group is supposed to is being tasked with finding out if this law passes.
One thing I have noticed, a lot of kids aren't wearing helmets. We make Sam wear motorcycle helmets.
I would.
Yeah, with face protection and everything like that. But man, I get so nervous with those things. I get really nervous. My wife is like, well, you got to let a kid be a kid.
If you want to go down on the beach, and when you're not around anyone, we had one of those at our beach house. You drove, but we weren't on mixed-use paths in King County going up, Tiger Mountain or other places like that where e-bikes are allowed, pedal assist are allowed, but these, I don't think,
They're
meet
dirt
the
bikes.
definitions of what we should be sharing paths with people walking or riding or doing whatever, walking their dog. They're just too fast.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Sully. That is up on mynorthwest.com, I imagine. Okay, it is time to check traffic on the threes. Where do we start?
Well, we start with the people telling me how terrible I am for letting everyone know about this, but that's okay. I can accept that. We're starting with southbound I-5, which is bumper to bumper from the Nile Golf Course there at the Edmonds exit all the way down to south of Northgate. That's because of a crash. Not only do we lose the express lanes there, but we also have a crash right around 92nd, right by the pedestrian bridge, by the transit center in Northgate. So we're up at about an hour and 15 minutes already from Everett to Seattle, about a 40-minute delay with an hour alone just from Linwood because of this. So it is nasty out of the north end. Already looking at brake lights away from Linwood as well on 405, so we're up to 50 minutes to make the drive from Everett down into Bellevue. Rented to Bellevue, we've got about a 20-minute trip. Valley Freeway 45. Whatever we had at Seneca, northbound 5 has taken care of itself, but we do have about a 45-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high of 51 today. Chance of showers late, like 10 o'clock in the Seattle area in the evening. Tomorrow, that is where we have more widespread rain. Right now in Seattle, it's 36. Coming up, more of the day's top stories. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News. And at 6:25, a word here now. Let me ask you something. After decades of working, saving, doing everything right, how much of your retirement will really go to taxes? More than you think if you're not careful. Do you really want 30, maybe 40% of what you've saved go to taxes and not to you? If you are thinking there's got to be a better way, well, I'm here to tell you there is. But it takes planning. Secret strategies wealthy families use to reduce their tax burdens, well, they're not secrets. And if you have saved more than $300,000, those strategies could work for you too. The team at Boss Retirement Solutions right here in Seattle is offering a free retirement tax savings analysis. No obligation, just a clear look at how much you could keep. Give the Boss team a call, 206-210-1350. It's 206-210-1350. Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state. American Crawl, the heroes you call. Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Harger. Governor Ferguson says he's not ruling out deploying the National Guard in response to federal immigration enforcement.
ICE is, to be blunt, completely and totally out of control. To say that I'm angry is not the right word. I don't have the right word for how I feel about it.
Ferguson says he met Sunday with the head of the Washington National Guard to discuss potential scenarios here, but declined to share details. It's 6:31 now. As you know by now, the Seattle Seahawks headed back to the Super Bowl after beating the Rams Sunday night 31-27. Between now and kickoff, we'll be getting you ready for the big game. And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to start off our countdown.
What a game. Let's start talking about that game as well this morning. The 12s, can we all agree, are the best fans in the world?
I think I am.
You are.
It means a lot to be a part of the 12th man community. Go Seahawks.
I love the Seahawks.
We're the best team in the league. We're coming back for revenge on the Pats. Super Bowl, baby. Let's go.
But let's go back to the Rams game. So many great plays in that game, and we'd love to know what your favorite play was. Hit us up on the text line. Let us know. So, David, I asked for your favorite play earlier in the morning. I was wondering if you were wondering if what the heck I was talking about and why I was asking you. Well, here you go. This is David's favorite play. Hawks are driving, and Darnold launches this bullet to JSN.
Dumps it over the top. A one-hander. Are you kidding me? JSN barreled over a security guy on the sidelines who happily gets up.
I felt right then and there that we were going to win that game. When a player is on like that, just incredible. So you want to go to the game, the Super Bowl? Well, you still can. Plenty of tickets available. I just looked on Ticketmaster, though. Check this out. I'm sure they're more expensive than this as well. But $10,000 is what they're showing for the upper deck at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Around $56,000. $56,000 for a 50-yard line seat behind the Seahawks sideline. Of course, there are all kinds of packages too that we'll be getting into this week as well. The sky's the limit on how much you can spend. Millions if you want. Hey, buy your airline tickets early as well. Several carriers are adding extra flights from Seattle to the Bay Area. For instance, Alaska Airlines is offering 16 additional round-trip flights from San Jose and San Francisco. But I saw tickets this morning for about $1,200 round-trip out of SeaTac. $750 is the lowest I saw for a round-trip Saver flight out of Payne Field. Sully, I mean, this is like a 2.5-hour
It's
flight.
It's a $250 flight round trip.
Because you just took this flight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so Sully, you've got the $750 for that. You're going to save some. That might be able to convince you to spend $56,000 on some Seahawks seats.
Yeah, it's a shame that fans can't go to this game anymore.
No,
it really is a shame.
No, they can't. It's mostly corporate tickets near, and the fans get there, but they're usually pretty up high. Anyways, we'll get into all of that because Super Bowl 60 is going to, of course, be here before you know it, and we have got you covered from now until kickoff on Seattle's Morning News. Charlie.
All right, Luke, thank you. Let's get a check on traffic. Sully is watching the roads this Tuesday morning.
And we're already running 40 minutes behind schedule on southbound I-5 from Linwood down into Seattle. Brake lights begin in Mount Lake Terrace and extend all the way down to the forced merge at Northgate. One of the issues for this is that we had a crash just south of that merge that blocked most of the freeway for about 15 minutes, and we're still digging ourselves out of it. By comparison, you've got probably a 50-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue. It is really heavy away from Linwood. But other than that, the rest of the map is not terrible. We have a Puyallup to Renton drive of 45 minutes, 25 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, Federal Way to Seattle, about 45, maybe a little under. Lake bridges are quiet, and nothing from Olympia to Tacoma. This report brought to you by Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-AWAY, serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years. Hundreds of 5-star reviews, 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com.
Cloudy and dry today. Maybe late in the evening we could have some showers and a high of 51 today. Showers tomorrow and heavy rain at times on Thursday. Right now in Seattle, it's 37 at 6:35. It's time for the opening bell report. Mass layoffs at Amazon could be coming as soon as today. Last week, Reuters reported on 14,000 planned cuts. Here's Raji Sinha with KIRO 7 TV.
Now, Amazon is one of our region's largest employers. A spokesperson for the company says it's making organizational changes. A memo posted on Amazon's website says it's staying nimble by making these cuts. That's the word from Senior VP Beth Galati as the company tries to cut 30,000 from its payroll. And layoffs coming in divisions like Amazon Web Services, Retail, Prime Video, and People Experience and Technology departments. Now, Amazon has implemented AI and says that it's part of the reason for the job cuts, but it also wants to eliminate positions at corporate offices in order to cut down on its bureaucracy. That's what company leaders have said in recent years. Now, this will impact our local economy because anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 employees here in Seattle and across our region could lose their jobs.
One of Washington's largest employers just beat Wall Street expectations with its fourth quarter earnings. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports.
The Boeing company is boasting higher cash flow, higher deliveries, and a higher production rate. This time last year, Boeing was reporting massive losses after high-profile safety issues like the 2024 door plug blowout and machinist strikes. In 2025, though, Boeing delivered the most planes since 2018, and they inked significant deals with Alaska, Delta, and other airlines to buy more planes. The last 3 quarters saw $23.9 billion in revenue, a 57% increase over the same period in 2024. CEO Kelly Ortberg called it a significant step toward recovery, saying their focus will be on promoting stable operations and rebuilding trust with stakeholders. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
From aerospace to automotive, the earnings report for GM is out this morning. Here's CBS's Jeff Gilbert.
GM's $2.7 billion 2025 profit impacted by a big fourth quarter loss. That's where GM put in $7.2 billion in charges due to changes in electric vehicle plans. GM is still meeting its pre-tax forecast and expecting good earnings in 2026. Strong sales in North America leading to $10,500 profit-sharing checks for GM workers. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
Does your bank account show a deposit from Lopez Voice Assistant? Or did you get a check with that name on it? It's not a scam. It's a settlement from Apple. The story from CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Apple customers have been reporting deposits of between $8 and $40 since Saturday, depending on how many Siri-enabled devices they included in filing a claim under a $95 million settlement. In 2021, a lawsuit was filed against Apple, alleging Siri listened in on private or confidential conversations that were then shared with third-party businesses, such as restaurants and clothing brands, that then targeted customers with ads in Apple Search and in its Safari web browser. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Southwest Airlines making a major change to its boarding and seating system this morning. CBS News senior travel editor Peter Greenberg explains what flyers need to know.
Back when Southwest Airlines decided not to charge for check bags, Wall Street was not happy with that, claiming that Southwest was leaving about $900 million a year on the table by not charging. Southwest's argument at the time was, by not charging, we're going to generate a lot of passenger loyalty and they'll stick with us, which passengers did. Conversely, when they made the announcement they were going to charge for checked bags last year, the fear was a lot of people would desert Southwest Airlines. As it turned out, in the first week or two they did, and then they came back. So it turned out to be, at least for the revenue generators, a good decision.
And this morning, they will have assigned seating on Southwest flights. Taking a look at Wall Street right now, well, we heard about that positive earnings report for Boeing. Well, its stock value is down 2% at the start of the trading day. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 397 points. That's 0.7%. S&P 500, on the other hand, up 11 points. That's 0.16%. And the NASDAQ ahead by 101. That's 0.43%. Word now for KIRO 7 TV, KIRO 7 News, live starting at 4. It's news that puts you there so you can see for yourself. News that's happening now so you're ready. News that investigates to get you answers. News that's local because where you live matters. Know more, know now on KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m. Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the early delays on southbound 5 getting down through Northgate. We'll break it down next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So there are some folks who probably think that they are in the clear because they haven't been hounded by IRS agents for the last few weeks. But that is a false sense of comfort.
It's a false sense of comfort. And I understand why people feel that way, Jason, because with the IRS shut down, all the revenue agents, the auditors, the revenue officers, the tax collectors, they weren't in their office. And the IRS stopped sending out notices because they knew that, people just couldn't respond to them because there weren't a lot of IRS personnel around. And so you get comfortable, you get complacent. But I tell you, folks, really, if you got an IRS issue, it's better to take care of it now than later. It really is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967. Or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope, included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind. No maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit GuardianRoofing.com to learn more.
At 6:43, let's check traffic. Chris has it for us every 10 minutes on the threes.
And we've actually picked up the pace a little bit, if you can believe it. We've picked up 10 minutes now on southbound I-5 after we had a crash just south of the forced merge in Northgate there. And so we had at one point up to an hour drive from Linwood. Now it's 50 minutes, which I know is still terrible. That's a 30-minute delay and an hour and 10 all the way from the Everett area. But we're a little off to the races a little bit earlier than we might expect because of that crash we had there at 92nd, still over on the right shoulder. A lot more people are already on 405, and it's kind of off and on bumper to bumper from Linwood down through Bothell. 35 to 40 minutes now out of Linwood and close to an hour from Everett down into Bellevue. The rest of the map's not bad. I mean, the Renton S-curves are active, but that's nothing unusual for, what is this, a Tuesday? Yeah, it is. So we're looking at 30 minutes to make the drive up into Bellevue, maybe a little under. Not quite 50 minutes from Puyallup up to Renton. A few brake lights in Lacey, a little bit up the hill in Fife towards 18. And then Federal Way to Seattle's running 46 minutes. That's pretty good. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looking for clouds today, a high in the low 50s. A chance of rain late tonight and into tomorrow. By Thursday, some widespread heavy rain. Right now in Seattle, it's 37. Coming up, TikTok officially under U.S. ownership now, and U.S. users are taking notice to the changes. We'll hear from TheHill.com reporter Julia Shapiro next on Seattle's Morning News.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Good morning. It's 6:48. There is a change in ownership for TikTok as the company comes under U.S. control. And already, users of the longtime Chinese-owned app claim there's a change to censorship on their posts. Let's check in with the Hill.com reporter Julia Shapiro for the latest. Good morning, Julia. What do we know about the new ownership for TikTok in the United States?
So the new ownership, which was required under U.S. law and was reached, or the deal was finalized more recently, means that several U.S. investors are now the controlling investors, and the China-based company that originally owned TikTok, ByteDance, is no longer in control. So it's sort of a shift in hands that was required by this law passed by Congress in 2024 that said that ByteDance had to divest from TikTok or it was going to face a U.S. ban. So that was sort of, we saw the end of that very lengthy saga last week.
And so we're hearing from users who are saying, hey, listen, my posts that are critical of ICE are getting censored on the platform now. What are you hearing about that?
I am also seeing some of those concerns from users online. And we saw California Governor Gavin Newsom saying that he is going to be reviewing this issue. So far, TikTok, or the new U.S. TikTok venture, has said that they are experiencing some issues from a data center that suffered from power outage during the winter storm that is happening out here on the East Coast.
And among the other people I'm listening to are my co-host and traffic reporter over here, Chris Sullivan. Sully, you said your son was on TikTok yesterday?
Yeah, my 23-year-old's like, hey, Dad, have you noticed any changes in terms of the ads? And I'm not on TikTok very often, but he was saying like every third video pops up. There are a lot more ads on there. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about the ad experience yet, but part of the shift in ownership and part of the requirements under the U.S. law say that the new TikTok, the algorithm, can't be owned by ByteDance. So it's shifted hands to a U.S. company, Oracle, that has said it will retrain this algorithm, which a lot of people call sort of the secret sauce of TikTok. That's what's made TikTok so popular, is going to be retrained on U.S. user data. So that could start to be some of the changes that users are experiencing.
Well, speaking of the algorithm, you're writing about the historic lawsuit that's underway right now accusing TikTok and other social media companies of designing platforms that would specifically create addictive behavior in children using the apps. What did you find?
Well, I think that is really up for debate at this with this lawsuit that is getting underway, or this trial that's getting underway today in Los Angeles. Thousands of plaintiffs. We've got individuals, school districts, states have accused these social media companies of intentionally designing their platforms to addict children, and those cases have been consolidated and are now heading to trial. So we will see what how that plays out in court.
Okay, well, it is certainly something that we're all keeping an eye on. Is there any next step that you are expecting to unfold here?
Well, in the cases, this is going to play out, this first trial at least is going to play out for probably 6 to 8 weeks is how long the trial is supposed to last. But because of just how big these cases are, they've selected several what they call bellwether trials. So there's going to be several more trials coming up this year. So we will see several of these play out throughout the course of the year.
Okay, here we go. Julia Shapiro with thehill.com. Julia, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Before we get to traffic, Sully, it really does speak to the generational divide with TikTok. My kids are always on it. Tommy's probably always on it.
Yeah.
David, where are you with TikTok?
My wife is on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm a little less hip, so I'm on the Reels, on Instagram.
Okay.
Which is pretty much the same thing, I feel like. But yeah, it is still a huge thing, but my wife is also noticing a slight change to her algorithms and what she's seeing in the last week or so here.
What about you, Nick? Am I just an old man because I still use Facebook and Twitter a lot?
No. I'm an old soul myself. I have never touched TikTok. I've never downloaded the app myself because I try to limit my social media. So I go with Instagram and Facebook, but TikTok's kind of, it was after my time, or I don't know, before, whatever the term is. So, yeah, I try and avoid that just to not add a third one to the list.
All right. And Sully and I, of course, are friends from MySpace. So,
oh, yeah. I still have an AOL account.
You do?
Netscape, whatever, CompuServe.
How's traffic looking right now?
Well, I just want to say one thing, Charlie. I just hope that the algorithm doesn't change what I love watching on TikTok, which are cats attacking dogs for some reason. And then this dude from, I'm not sure where he is, but his name's Anatoly.
Yeah.
And he's a elite power lifter. And he goes into gyms dressed up like a nerdy guy, mopping the floor.
Yeah.
And he goes in and he lifts all the weight of all these muscle dudes and they're all like, what? I find that really hilarious. So I hope that doesn't change my algorithm to do that. Looking at the roads right now, we're a little heavier than we should be out of the north end. We had an earlier crash on southbound I-5 right there at the forced merge in Northgate. And so we're running about an hour and 10 minutes already from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, and way early.
It's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
We really never hit $15 coming out of Linwood on southbound 405 until about 7:30, 7:40. With the lane configurations, we're hitting it earlier and earlier. Looking at Federal Way to Seattle, 45 minutes, 45 to 50 from Puyallup to Renton up the valley. Renton to Bellevue's at 25 minutes. Lake bridges are still good. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
And the forecast calls for clouds, mostly dry today, at least in the Seattle area. It won't be till late tonight. Nick Aller was saying maybe around 10 that we start to get some rain falling. Showers tomorrow, and then heavy rain at times on Thursday. It's 37 right now in Seattle. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, we'll have more of the day's top stories, including what the governor and attorney general had to say about ICE. That's with Luke Ducey coming up at the top of the hour on Seattle's Morning News.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Ewart here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got 3 options. Number 1, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Minnesota's chief federal judge, Patrick Schiltz, says the acting director of ICE has some explaining to do. He's ordered Todd Lyons to appear in court in person Friday to explain repeated failures to comply with dozens of court orders to hold bond hearings for detained immigrants. Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson.
The chief judge says that if there's not an explanation, this would be contempt of court. And the court has the power to have these hearings to determine whether ICE has been denying people due process.
President Trump is shaking up immigration leadership after ICU nurse Alex Preddy was shot to death by ICE Saturday. The changes begin at the top with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, correspondent Natalie Brand from Washington.
Sources tell CBS News that she is expected to keep her job, but perhaps shift focus from these interior enforcement operations in major U.S. cities to other priorities such as the southern border.
The president has ordered his border czar, Tom Homan, to take over ICE operations in Minnesota from Commander Gregory Bovino. The mayor of Milan, Italy, is upset. ICE will be part of the security at next month's Olympics.
ICE says it will support the State Department's diplomatic security service at the Games and help Italian authorities vet and mitigate risks from transnational criminal organizations. Milan Mayor Giuseppe Sala says ICE is a militia that kills and enters people's homes by signing permits for themselves. He says ICE is not welcome in Milan. Sala asked, "Can't we just say no to Trump for once?" He says Italy can take care of security itself and doesn't need ICE. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
People from New Mexico to Maine are dealing with the icy aftermath of a brutal winter storm. Shoveling out in Baltimore has been no easy task.
And you just have to crunch it before you can lift it because it's a solid block of ice.
I hurt my back earlier, so, just trying to make do with the best I can.
Thousands of customers still have no electricity, most of them in the southeast. CBS's Nicole Valdez checks in from Nashville.
Many people are sort of not prepared in some cases or just simply unsure of how to navigate icy roads and deal with long-duration power outages.
The new cutoff for free tuition at Yale, $200,000. Starting this fall, the Ivy's offering students from what's considered middle-class families a free ride. The cost for paying students, including tuition, room, board fees, and books, will be about $98,000. This is CBS News.
I'm Major Garrett. Follow and listen to The Takeout on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I mean, do you want to spend $98,000 on college for your kid, or do you want to get seats for the Seahawks at the Super Bowl?
You might be able to get 2 seats
might be
for
able to get
$98,000.
Bring the whole family.
Yeah, all that for Yale to go out to Montana State and lose in the playoffs. Wow.
7:03, time for traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And here we go again. Life without the express lanes in the southbound direction. Hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue today. 30-minute delays over what you might expect. It wasn't helped this morning because we had an earlier crash in Northgate that really kind of put us behind. Overall, the rest of the map is not terrible. I mean, Federal Way to Seattle is under 50 minutes. We're under 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour, which at this time of day is a pretty good number. Across the lake, we're still doing okay. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. We do have a stall on northbound I-5 up the Fife Hill, but they took it out of the center lane pretty quickly and moved it over to the right shoulder. So you are seeing just a little bit of braking coming up out of Tacoma. This report brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoffs gear, custom Simply original designs. Shop in store or online. Enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Governor Ferguson says he's not ruling out deploying the National Guard in response to federal immigration enforcement. Meanwhile, one Republican leader in our state is calling the governor and Attorney General Nick Brown the Thelma and Louise on this issue. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
Yeah, Charlie, it's not just the governor and Attorney General now. We're learning that today the King County Council will consider a motion calling on Congress to ensure any funding bill for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security includes meaningful and significant guardrails. That's the language in the motion. More and more local and state governments, we're going to be seeing this, are pressuring Congress to use their power of the purse to put greater controls on ICE and border agents in our communities. Well, that motion is before the county's Law and Justice Committee, scheduled to be talked about today, so we'll keep tabs on that. At the governor's press conference yesterday with Nick Brown, he said, that they were condemning the recent deadly ICE shootings in Minnesota, and he got pretty emotional when he said this.
ICE is, to be blunt, completely and totally out of control. To say that I'm angry is not the right word. I don't have the right word for how I feel about it.
Yeah, a lot of anger there in the governor's voice. Both of them condemned the ICE's actions. Ferguson then said he met with the head of the Washington National Guard to discuss potential scenarios, presumably to have guards protect Washington citizens, but he declined to share any specific details.
As angry as we both are, we are focused on preparing to the fullest extent possible for a similar escalation by ICE against our will here in Washington State.
Of course, there have been protests around the country, including right here in the Pacific Northwest. There was one in Seattle, a big one over the weekend, following the latest shooting of 37-year-old Alex Preddy at the hand of Border Patrol officers in Minneapolis over the weekend. In response to Governor Ferguson, chairman of the Washington State Republican Party, Jim Walsh, is accusing Ferguson and Brown of escalating the issue. He also said Washingtonians should be concerned about growing protests aimed at federal immigration enforcement, that they are boiling over into violence. He also called the governor and attorney general the Thelma and Louise on the issue, as you mentioned, Charlie, that they are encouraging lawlessness and the two of them are driving themselves off a cliff. Of course, we will stay on top of this developing story.
Thank you, Luke. The Secretary of State has certified a new initiative that would restore the original Parents' Bill of Rights. Initiative 26001 comes after Democrats made changes last year to the 2024 law backed by Let's Go Washington. Those changes including removing parental access to student medical records. Now, the group's founder, Brian Haywood, wants voters to bring back the original version. Democratic leaders in the legislature say they won't hold hearings on the measure. That likely sends it straight to voters in November.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, thanks for joining us. It is Tuesday, January 26th, and Manda has the morning off. She's recovering from that bug that's going around for everyone. Sully and I are still here in the studio with you, with producer David Burbank. Sully, I'm looking at the text line. People are saying it's the start of a beautiful sunrise.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Should be a beautiful day out there today.
Well, if you're somewhere like safe where you can maybe take a picture, our view out the window is not good. So if you want to text us at the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, I would love to see some of these pictures.
We used to have a beautiful view of Queen Anne.
Yeah, I bet you did.
But now the apartments across the street have a beautiful view of Queen Anne.
Time marches on. The number for the text line is 888-973-5476. Would love to see that. Busy hour of the show in front of us. We are going to speak live with Leland Vittert from News Nation, host of On Balance. We'll talk about a situation not only in Minnesota, but also an escalating situation he's hearing about with U.S. military involvement, potentially with Iran. And in today's 7:35 commentary, Sully, I propose a traffic experiment from WashDOT, because how could it get any worse?
Wait a minute, is this the same thing that I've been proposing since the beginning?
Maybe, but I'm going to have it in my commentary. 7:35. You got to stick around.
You're going to take my
okay?
ideas, aren't you?
I will. 7:09 now here on Seattle's Morning News. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. A 20-year-old man is in critical condition after a shooting in North Seattle. It happened early this morning. Police say multiple suspects opened fire on the victim while he was sitting in his car. Happened just before 1 a.m. near North 98th Street and Aurora Avenue North. Officers arrived and gave the man emergency medical treatment for multiple gunshot wounds. He was rushed to Harborview for surgery. Suspects fled the scene before police got there. Pierce County Force Investigation Team looking into a stabbing that could lead to a deputy-involved shooting that left the suspect dead. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has details.
The victim told deputies a man approached early Sunday morning in Parkland and asked his religion. When he answered Christian, he and his dog were stabbed multiple times before the suspect fled. Deputies found him a short time later. Shots were fired and the suspect, still armed with a knife, was killed. Sergeant Charles Porsche with the Pierce County Force Investigation Team on the independent investigation now underway.
Collecting evidence, beginning to do some of the interviews for them to put together their investigation of what happened there.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police say a drunken 12 got onto the field Sunday night after the Seahawks' big win.
Police describe him as an overexcited 40-something sports fan. They say with beverage in hand, he climbed down the metal railing and right onto the grass, which is off limits to fans. Security guards handed him over to police, who say he showed all the typical signs of being intoxicated, including slurred speech and alcohol on his breath. He was arrested and banned from Lumen Field. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Police say he did make physical contact with a coach. If you're in need of some Seahawks swag, the designers at Simply Seattle already have their NFC Championship merch stocked and ready. Jake Schmidt is the company's VP of Product.
We're talking T-shirts, we're talking hoodies, crew necks, and we are doing a couple different hats.
Says staff is working around the clock, telling KIRO 7 TV they have their T-shirt presses fired up just hours after the Hawks clinched their ticket to the Super Bowl. The road to the second Lombardi began with Sunday night's big win over the Rams in the NFC Championship. Jackson Smith-Njigba, the best in the world, talked about what it means to him to play in the Super Bowl.
It's a dream come true, honestly. Just all the work that we put in the off season and the summer, throughout the season, all the people, the doubters, the naysayers, it feels awesome, to have a group, have a collective that, like I said, just plays for the guy next to him. So I'm honored to be a part of that.
Here we go. Luke Ducey will have more on preparations for the big game coming up at 7:30. At 7:12, let's get a check on the weather, and Nick Allard from KIRO 7 TV joins us. Nick, we are getting those reports of pretty sunrises.
There you go. Yeah, it's nice with high cloud cover sometimes because you still get a decent chunk of the atmosphere that isn't covered with clouds. You can still see the mountains, so you get that silhouette as well. You might even have, I wonder, I haven't seen it myself yet, I wonder if maybe you see a couple of cap clouds or lenticular clouds closer to Mount Rainier because we're going to see some changes. But either way, you get those clouds, you get get the beautiful sunrises, and then we see more clouds, and eventually leading to some rain late tonight. But, we're at that point where the dry streak continues, and we're at 14 straight days with no measurable rain. We will, though, see some rain around at the coast about, say, like 5 p.m., and probably inland after about maybe like 9 or so across the Seattle area, maybe 10. But is it enough to give you 1/100 of an inch? It just kind of depends. I mean, it's really going to be down to the last couple of hours, and all we need is 1/100 of an inch, and it doesn't take much, but also the rain we're going to get tonight is pretty isolated and spotty. Either way, after midnight, it's going to be wet, and it's going to be wet for a lot of tomorrow in the afternoon, and it's going to be wet for a lot of the rest of the work week before we see some drier conditions this weekend. And it looks mild, too. What we're seeing snow level-wise won't be great. We'll see it, fall to about 4,000 feet tomorrow, probably around 5,500 to 6,000 feet the rest of the work week. There might be some freezing rain tomorrow at Snoqualmie Pass, so I'm not looking great, or it's not looking great in the mountains, but we are going to see some rain. And I think highs today will be around 50, 51. Rest of the week, low to mid-50s. This weekend, mid to upper 50s with dry weather. So some places could touch 60 on Saturday. It's just a weird January.
Here we go. And you are a meteorologist, Nick.
Correct.
These skies, Tammy and Brian and someone in the 206, they've all sent in these sunrise photos, like kind of blood red. So it's red sky in the morning. Is that sailors warning?
Take warning.
Oh, boy.
And also Sully.
Okay.
Sully. It started
yeah.
with him. Sully takes warning.
Yep.
There were some other different reasons why he needed to be warned, but
Yeah,
it all comes
yeah.
down to quote-unquote issues.
He was nowhere near the field at Lumen Field on
We'll
Sunday.
go with that. That's
okay.
what it was.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. Right now it's 37 in Seattle. Sully is watching traffic for us.
Yeah, the sky's about as red as the traffic map looks trying to get away from Linwood. We have hour and 20-minute drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue with an hour away from Linwood. Those are 25-minute delays. For 405, it begins right there at Linwood, goes down through Bothell. For I-5, it starts right around the Nile Golf Course, which is the Edmonds exit, and goes all the way down into the U District. So not exactly a good day there. Federal Way to Seattle, though, because we don't have a forced merge at the north end, we've got a drive of about 48 minutes, which is really nice. Renton to Bellevue is only 32 minutes. The Valley Freeway is under 50. Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy at 35 minutes. We are clearing through Fife. We had an earlier stall. It's over on the right-hand shoulder. We do have a little braking around Port of Tacoma Road. And for those of you going southbound on 405 from Renton over to I-5, we do have the right lane blocked right at Tukwila, right at the Family Fun Center. This report brought to you by Northwest Hope and Healing. Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration. Get your tickets now for January 31st at nwhopeandhealing.org.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Thanks for being here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. Well, it's 2 days ahead of the one-year anniversary of the deadly collision of a military helicopter and a passenger airliner at Reagan National Airport. The NTSB is looking to wrap up the investigation with a hearing today. The January 29th crash killed 67 people total, sending debris from both aircraft into the Potomac River. 3 soldiers on the helicopter were among the dead. The NTSB held hearings that lasted more than 30 hours last summer, and recommendations to limit military training flights have been at the center of a debate between air safety and Pentagon officials. Here's CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
There will be questions from board members about various parts of this investigation as they fine-tune their final report. By the end of the day, we should know what the investigation found as far as the factors that came together to allow this tragedy to happen.
The man accused of throwing a state trooper to the ground and stealing her patrol SUV on Christmas Day has been ruled incompetent to stand trial. Here's Casey McNerthy with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
The defendant will have incompetency restoration services, and then we'll go back before the court to see if competency is restored by the end of April.
Alexander Eugene Smith is charged with second-degree robbery and attempting to elude a police vehicle. Police have released surveillance images of 2 men they believe stabbed a man to death last June in Seattle's U District. Detective Brian Pritchard says they attacked the man on June 22nd around 4 in the morning. This was near Northeast 50th and University Way Northeast.
He managed to flee his attackers, but could only make it a half a block before collapsing.
Pritchard describes one suspect as light-skinned Hispanic or black male, a notable gold emblem around his neck. You can see pictures of the suspects on mynorthwest.com. A 50-year-old woman is recovering after she was stabbed multiple times. This happened Saturday morning. She told police she was walking along the Bear Creek Trail near Redmond Town Center when she was attacked by an unknown man. Redmond Police Chief Darrell Lowe says everyone should be ever vigilant, especially when walking alone.
It really comes down to situational awareness. Just be aware of your surroundings. And if something doesn't seem right, call 911.
It is 7:18 here on Seattle's Morning News, and joining us as he does every Tuesday, we call up Leland Vittert, the host of On Balance, airs weeknights on News Nation to break down the big national stories of the week. I'll throw you a curveball here, Leland, because I remember your coverage from a year ago with the crash in the Potomac right outside Reagan National. We were just talking about hearings getting underway today. Can you just tell me what your memories are of that day nearly a year ago?
Yeah, I remember, Charlie, watching the aftermath because my apartment looks out over Reagan Airport and the crash site and the the sea of red lights over Reagan Airport. What I remember more is the next morning, because every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, the helicopter squadron that practices continuity of government and the emergency evacuation of Washington would fly up the Potomac in formation at 8 a.m. every morning for practice. And that morning, the next morning after the crash, was the first morning that it didn't happen. And there was not a single plane that took off or landed at Reagan. And it was dead silent all day. And there was this really eerie calm that sort of blanketed over Washington after the crash. So I think it's one of those things that at least every time I fly in and out of Reagan, I think about or remember. And again, what's so stunning about it is that it was something that was so preventable and frankly, something so predictable. People did predict it and just nobody listened.
Yeah, and I know there's still a strong debate about whether the two entities, the FAA and military flight controllers, are going to be able to share that information or not. It is really stunning, especially with the loss of life a year ago. I want to transition because the story that's consuming Washington, D.C. and much of the nation is something you are following quite closely on your show, Leland, and that is, it seems like there has been a change in ICE's and the Border Patrol's approach in Minneapolis. What have your guests been telling you?
Well, unquestionably, there has been this pivot by Donald Trump, and you can call it whatever you want, a pivot, a change, a stand down, a back down, whatever, de-escalation. But it's very clear that Trump realized that what was happening was not working for him and for him politically and for Republicans politically. What had been a number one issue for him, immigration, was now becoming a number one liability. So there is this change. There's two challenges for Trump. One is how to back down or de-escalate, whatever you want to call it, without having a situation where the rioters won. And that's dangerous for America. If all of a sudden a few thousand people who are willing to fight with law enforcement can change the laws or the way laws are enforced, that's not a great situation. And number two, you're seeing already a very big difference between Trump 1 and Trump 2. Trump 2.0, Kristi Noem and Bavino are still there. Whereas, at this time in Trump 1.0, how many cabinet secretaries had already been fired by Twitter a year in? So that is an enormous shift between the two Donald Trumps.
It strikes me also that I'm not sure people in the Trump administration fully appreciated the depth for how those who are single issue voters, Second Amendment, gun owners, that is a big, big deal for them. And the Trump administration, I'm not sure understood the passion that part of their constituency holds.
Unquestionably. Are you referring to the fact that the person who was killed was carrying and that they were then blamed for it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was a noticeable backlash to the Trump administration. I think the Trump administration didn't quite understand the discontent that America feels when there is unrest. And like it or not, when you're the commander in chief, it's your job to fix it. And it doesn't really matter who's in the right or who's in the wrong, especially when you have such a large part of the media against you, that those images were going to be hung around Trump's neck, proverbially, and there's really nothing he could do. And frankly, Walz and Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, started to realize that. And I think it's why they kept pushing this narrative and glorifying those fighting with ICE, which I think we can hold two thoughts in our head. One, that people getting shot is terrible and awful, and the tactics and the training that ICE and Border Patrol was using and need to be reevaluated. And at the same time, when you have a mayor and a governor idealizing people who aren't peacefully protesting, but who are actively fighting law enforcement, that is a dangerous place to be.
Leland Vittert, wish we had more time. Always good talking with you. We'll check in with you next Tuesday. 7:24 now. Leland's show is On Balance, airs 6 p.m. on News Nation in Seattle. 7:24, let's check traffic. Here's Sully.
And we're working with hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with an hour of that out of Linwood. So we've settled in to kind of the typical commute. That's a 25-minute delay over what we would be getting if the express lanes were open in the southbound direction. Because they're open in the northbound direction, the Federal Way to Seattle drive's running under 50 minutes at this point, which is really good. So plan on some braking at the north end past the West Seattle Bridge, but nothing you can't handle. Across the lake, nice and easy. Rented to Bellevue is only 32 minutes. The Valley Freeway, though, up to about 52 minutes now, with some braking at the far north end really starting to bog down a bit. And I think the reason for that is because we still have a crash southbound 405 right there at the Family Fun Center in Tukwila, and the right lane is blocked, and so that's impacting the merge from northbound 167 to southbound 405. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
And we're headed for a high of 51 today, mostly cloudy, chance of rain late tonight. Tomorrow looks like we'll have rain on and off throughout the day. Right now in Seattle, it's 37 at 7:25. Coming up in my 7:35 commentary, Sully, you will want to listen to this if you are stuck in traffic going southbound on I-5 right now, and you have 11 months of this to look forward to. You might want to listen as well. We're going to talk about it coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
The John Curley Show.
If you do get tickets and you are lucky to be able to go,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
you have to stand the whole time. We are actually affecting the game. I took Rye to a game last year, and we were really disappointed. The people are sitting the whole time. Rye goes, I'm standing the whole game. I don't get people behind me. Too bad. Too bad. I'm here for the game. You know, what are you out there dating your sister?
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from Nunn Better Tax Resolution. Last year, the big news, obviously, was the accomplishment of the big, beautiful bill, but that also comes with some big, beautiful changes to the IRS.
There are some big, beautiful changes going on, and so many of those changes in the big, beautiful bill impact 2025. There's definitely some big spiffs in there for the ordinary working person. One thing that I'm really disappointed in is the way that things have been communicated in regards to the Social Security. It is still going to be taxed. It's not like it's not going to be taxed, but it will be, for most people, a reduction in the amount of tax.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TilaMortgage.com.
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. Thanks for being here on a Tuesday. The Seahawks headed back to the Super Bowl after that big win over the Rams Sunday night. Well, between now and kickoff, or counting down, it's the biggest game in a decade. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to get us started. Luke?
Hey, Charlie. Hey, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, we're asking everyone this morning, what was your favorite moment of Sunday's NFC Championship game? Share it with us on the text line. We'd love to hear from you. At the last hour, I asked Sully for his favorite. Of course, he turned to special teams.
And this again, another rainmaker, high spiral. Smith falls down, ball, Seahawks! Smith backing up, trying to call fair catch. Falls down and the ball hits him. The Seahawks recover.
Yeah, the Hawks recovered that muffed punt return, and then on the very next play, touchdown, Darnold to Jake Bobo. Sully, you love the special teams.
How could you not? They're the most important part of the game that no one thinks about.
Listening to that game on Sunday, because I had it synced up with the TV, but I was listening to the Rabel play-by-play. When Rabel called out the long snapper, saying what a great job he was doing on Sunday's game, I was like, if only Sully were listening to this right now, he'd be so proud.
The best play of the game that Stoll made was his penalty.
His holding call.
He got a 10-yard holding penalty on the next
he kept
punt
it from being blocked.
because it was going to be blocked if he didn't take that guy down.
I think it saved the game.
Yeah, it's possible.
So you guys into conspiracy theories?
No.
Yeah, no, yes, no. Well, there are plenty of them about the NFL being rigged. We've all heard those, and a lot of those theories revolve around the official Super Bowl logos released by the NFL. Have you heard this latest one? So if you're watching on the YouTube feed, and I'm going to put this on social media as well, here are some examples of what I'm talking about. Logos that were released well before the playoffs, before we even knew who was going to be playing in a Super Bowl. So, for instance, for Super Bowl 56, the logo, the Roman numerals, they had the colors orange and yellow in them. So that matched the Cincinnati Bengals and Los Angeles Rams. Everyone thinking the NFL already knew they were going to be in the Super Bowl, so they put up the logo. Super Bowl 57, that red and green logo aligned with the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. Super Bowl 59, the logo again, red and green, reflecting the Chiefs versus Eagles in another matchup. And the latest for Super Bowl 60, the NFL released this logo way back in September 4th. The Road to Santa Clara. It shows all the NFL stars on this poster. It's Saquon Barkley's in the foreground. He's very large. He makes a huge impression there on the poster. Then you got to kind of focus way in, all the way to the front of the crowd where you can see Sam Darnold and Drake May closest to Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Incredible. Here was the reaction on the NFL Network's Rich Eisen show.
All right, now zoom in on the two quarterbacks who are closest to the track.
That's crazy.
That's fantastic. Darnold and May are up front.
Up front.
They're up front. It's incredible. You got to check it out on social media, on my channel as well. We'll get it up on KIRO's social as well, and mynorthwest.com. I'll just make them put it on there. Hey, if you didn't know, Super Bowl 60 will be a rematch of Super Bowl 49. The Hawks are going to take on the New England Patriots. So here on Seattle's Morning News, between now and kickoff, we have got you covered on the road to the Super Bowl, from tickets to flights to the latest news, but also we're going to be telling you all the stories that you will not hear anywhere else, including from Inspired 12s. I'm speaking with one gentleman tomorrow, Charlie. He is battling cancer right now. His wife is in the hospital. He said the only thing they have to look forward to, and then the bright spot in the last couple of weeks for them, because life has been hard, the Seahawks. So we're going to hear special stories like that as well.
Look forward to it.
Okay, Luke Ducey. It's time to check traffic. Here is Chris Sullivan.
We've settled into the hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with an hour out of Linwood, the stuff we've gotten used to, with the closure of the southbound 5 express lanes there in Northgate. Coming the other direction, we've got about a 50-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. A lot more brake lights now at the north end of Boeing Field, tying into downtown. The lake bridges are both in very good shape. Renton to Bellevue's not too bad, about 35 minutes, but behind that, the Valley Freeway's really slow from before 180th on in. The reason, there's a crash just south of 167 there on 405, right by the Family Fun Center, blocking the right lane, and so that's impacting not only 405, but 167 itself. The Tacoma Drive, not bad now that we've cleared the stall up the Five Hills. So all in all, we're about typical for a Tuesday. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan. Our weather forecast today, well, it's going to be a little bit warmer than we've seen the last couple of days. Cloudy, we might get some rain a little bit later today, and if we get just enough, that might actually end our dry January. Again, the only one I'm getting down for, but we're looking at 51 degrees for our high today with clouds. Right now, outside the Seattle studios at KIRO News Radio, we have 39 degrees.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. I get it. I really do. WashDOT has a plan. The Revive I-5 project is a massive undertaking. The Ship Canal Bridge carries nearly 240,000 vehicles a day. It's 60 years old. It's needed 200 emergency repairs since 2019. The work has to happen. No one is arguing that. And I understand the logic behind keeping the express lanes northbound only during this phase. You got 2 northbound lanes instead of 4, 1 fender bender. The whole thing locks up. The express lanes act as a relief valve. It makes sense on paper. But every morning, Sully comes on and describes what's happening out there. 90-minute commutes, backups past the county line. And I wonder if anyone at WashDOT is paying attention to what's actually happening, or are they just trusting the projections? 90 minutes from Linwood to Seattle is typical. Backups to the Kings-Snohomish County line. Commuters calling it debilitating. An untenable new norm. Those aren't Sully's words for dramatic effect. That's what people are living through every single morning. And here's the thing. WSDOT made this decision based on models, projections, computer simulations that said keeping the express lanes northbound would balance the system and prevent catastrophic backups into the construction zone. But projections aren't the same as reality. Models are educated guesses. They're useful, but they're not gospel. So here's my question. Why not test it? I'm not saying flip a switch tomorrow and commit to running the express lane southbound every morning for the rest of the year. I'm saying pick a week, 1 week, open them southbound during the morning rush, and see what happens. If the projections hold up, if northbound turns into a parking lot, the whole system collapses, fine. We'll have learned something. Keeping it northbound only, and we'll all stop asking. But what if? What if, I ask, if the real world doesn't match the model? What if southbound improves dramatically and northbound holds up better than expected? What if the projections were too conservative? Wouldn't we want to know that? Think about what this is costing, not just in frustration, but in real dollars. Late arrivals to work, missed meetings, delayed shipments, parents late to pick up the kids, hourly workers losing wages because they're stuck on the freeway. That adds up. That matters. King County Councilmember Reagan Dunn has been pushing for this. Commuters have been begging for it. And so far, the answer from the state DOT has been, no, the model says this is the best approach. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a traffic planner. But I do know that sometimes the best way to find something out, and if it works, is to actually try it. We're supposed to be an innovative region. We're supposed to be open-minded. We're supposed to believe in testing assumptions and adapting when the data tells us something new. This isn't about second-guessing the experts. It's about trusting but verifying. 1 week, a real-world test. If it fails, we move on. If it works, we adjust. Look, if the model is correct, we'll all say sorry and sit in traffic like good Washingtonians. But if it's not, wouldn't it be nice to know that before December? That's a commentary for this morning. You can always weigh in at the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. Chris Sullivan.
And as we asked Julie Meredith, the head of WSDOT, before this months of hell, why she wouldn't do that?
It's a better system while we have the closures in place.
Just remember that.
It's a better system.
By the way, one of the reasons they said it is they're really concerned that if there were to be a crash and there were no options northbound, that could really be an impact. But again, I don't see there's anything wrong with trying it for 1 day.
1 week.
1 day, 2 days, just to see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to talk about that, Charlie. We're looking at about 30-minute delays now coming down out of the north end, and we'll explain the best way to get around it if you can.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are, as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
7:43, and by the way, I got admonished from my commuters in Auburn, where I'm from. They're saying maybe I shouldn't have said that in the commentary, and everything is just fine with traffic. Just fine coming up from Auburn.
So you better believe it is. It's running 10 or 15 minutes faster than normal.
Okay, so I retract my commentary for this morning.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, if you're coming, during this, if you're coming up from the south end, you're enjoying drives from Federal Way to Seattle of 50 minutes or less because there is no forced merge at the top of that drive where the express lanes are.
Okay.
So, it's great. The West Seattle Bridge, though, in the eastbound direction, not so great. It's pretty heavy, but you're driving. And that's really the only slowing we have on that northbound corridor. As for the southbound corridor, it's bumper to bumper from basically the Nile Golf Course, the Edmonds exit, all the way down to the Ship Canal Bridge. Hour and 25-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 5 all the way from Linwood, so 30-minute delays for you. And what we're also seeing through this is a lot of neighborhood streets are seeing a lot of extra traffic. A lot of people are saying people are going through Sandpoint Way, coming down that direction and just going through the University of Washington across the cut and working your way over. 99 is jammed up from Greenwood all the way down into South Lake Union. Lake City Way itself caught up in this, so there really aren't many ways to get around it. The primary alternative is for people in the north end. They've jumped over to 405, and that's why it's running an hour and 20 to an hour and a half from Everett to Bellevue as well. Lake Bridges, though, good shape. Rented to Bellevue's under 40 minutes. Valley Freeway, about 50 plus. We have heavy braking at the north end. That's because of a crash on southbound 405, just away from 167, right there in Tukwila. Right lane is blocked. And we're looking at pretty heavy slowing now on eastbound 16 past Cheney Stadium. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
Headed for a high of 51 today. It'll stay cloudy, and late tonight we might start seeing some showers tomorrow, occasional showers on Thursday, heavy rain at times. 37 right now downtown. Coming up, earlier this hour we heard Leland Vittert's take on what's happening in Minneapolis. Why don't we hear from New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold with a different take on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from.
Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Nearing retirement? Don't miss out. Madrona's free virtual seminar on the 27th of January at 6:30 p.m. John Curley here. Retirement isn't just about income. It's about avoiding big mistakes and blind spots. Join Matt Beyer and Madrona Financial and CPAs for a free virtual retirement planning workshop. Learn what a complete retirement plan looks like. Call to RSVP 833-673-7373. Again, it's Tuesday the 27th at 6:30 online via Zoom. Call or sign up at madronafinancial.com/events.
A new year means more than just a clean calendar. It's new goals, opportunities, and fresh momentum for your business. Are you with the right bank to set you up for success? WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, credit cards, lines of credit, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd offers the latest in payment processing and cash flow tools for just the right fit to meet your goals. Plus, WaFd Bank is an SBA preferred lender. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Not sufficient funds charges may apply.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. And every Tuesday, we call up New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold to break down the big national stories of the week. David, good morning. And I think we need to start with a story that has national and international attention. Minnesota, as the protests continue there and ICE officials have continued to clash with protesters. Bring us up to speed on where things stand this morning, especially when it comes to the head of the Border Patrol.
Well, what we've seen the last day is that the Trump administration, I think, recognizing that there's this enormous outcry in Minnesota, around the country and around the world, at the brutality of what they did to Alex Purdy, that ICU nurse who was killed, has begun to move some agents out of Minnesota and to move the most sort of best-known face of that oppressive crackdown, this guy Gregory Bovino, who is a Customs and Border Protection official. He's not the head of the Border Patrol, but a lot of people think he is because he's been the face of it in every place where there's been a big Border Patrol crackdown. They are moving him from Minneapolis back to his normal office in California, and there's been some reporting that he's going to retire. So I think there's some sense that he, who was very vocal in spreading the lie that Alex Purdy was out there to hurt those agents, was too hot and has to be moved away. It's a small gesture, but it is a gesture that they realize that they've gone too far.
We learned this morning that President Trump met with DHS Secretary Kristi Noem this morning. Is the New York Times been able to confirm that and know anything about that meeting?
Well, we know it took 2 hours. It was a 2-hour meeting. I think Trump in the past, when something like this has gone bad and blown up in his face, he's wanted to look for scapegoats. And so I think Kristi Noem might be the scapegoat in this case, who could be, if not fired, at least blamed for what's going on there. It's a little bit silly, though, because Kristi Noem is only a vessel for Trump and his advisors, right? There's no way Kristi Noem, is not doing anything that she isn't being told to do by somebody else. It's not the job she's taken on. So if they do try to push her out or blame her or fire her, I don't think anybody should believe that this was happening without Trump's approval.
What did you make of the administration's almost immediate attempt to say this is a guy who pointed a gun and wanted to commit mass murder, yet video evidence, multiple angles, show that was simply not the case?
It's a great moment, and I think a lot of people saw it. It's great because it shows you how willing they are to lie, how little the truth matters to any of those folks. What they wanted was for people to believe that they were right and the protesters were wrong and that there was no way you should question what the Border Patrol was doing. And so before anyone really knew the facts, and certainly before you could know the facts definitively, they were out there with this version that this guy, Alex Preddy, was carrying a gun, that he was waving it around, that he was planning to massacre Border Patrol agents. And they stuck to that lie long after the video evidence had come out to show it was completely wrong. He had the gun in his waistband. He wasn't carrying it. He was carrying a cell phone. The gun only came into the situation because the agents found it and pulled it out. And then even after he was disarmed, they shot him. So it shows you something about the character of everybody involved, up the chain to Trump himself, that was willing to spread that lie before they knew and then after they knew it was a lie. It just shows you something really terrible about their character and about what they're willing to do to, avoid blame.
A significant part of America are Second Amendment absolutists. When you consider that, how do you suppose the Trump administration was able to get their point of view so wrong?
That has been one of the most elements of this, and you've seen different reactions from people. Some gun groups have been very vocal about how this person shouldn't have been targeted because he was carrying a gun. But I think it's been fascinating the way that Trump and Lindsey Graham and some other people, elected officials on the right, who you would think would be very, very pro-gun. And if this was a shoe on the other foot, if this was a Democratic administration shooting somebody because he had a gun in his pocket, they would be apoplectic. But they're basically saying, hey, you shouldn't bring a gun to a protest. Who would bring a gun to a protest? Who would, even if they had it concealed, even if they had it in their pocket, who would bring a gun to a protest? The things that gun control folks have said forever. And to me, it's interesting to see how little purchase that this whole ideal of gun rights had with them. That as soon as it conflicted with something else they cared about, they were like, well, forget it. Don't bring a gun to the protest against me. Why would you do that? It must mean you have bad intent.
New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold. David, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Time to check traffic now. Every 10 minutes, here's Chris Sullivan.
And we are pushing towards our second peak of the morning, which is right before 8 a.m. Most of the freeways look about average. The only spot that isn't is for those of you coming down southbound 5 and southbound 405 away from Linwood. We're up to an hour and a half now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood, so 25 to 30 minutes slower than it should be, but that's our reality. Going the other way, Federal Way to Seattle's running 50 minutes. That's 15 minutes faster than normal. And as we approach 8 o'clock, we normally start seeing our first real legitimate slowing on northbound I-5, approaching the 520 bridge in the actual construction zone. Not too bad of a delay there. We're still losing some time on southbound 405 through Renton, getting over to I-5. Right lane remains blocked right there by the Family Fun Center. This is also impacting northbound 167. That's why we're 30 minutes out of Auburn and 50 plus all the way. Renton to Bellevue is about 40 minutes. The Lake Bridges are doing okay. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high of 51 today with clouds. Late today, there's a chance of showers. Tomorrow, we have occasional showers and heavy rain by Thursday. 37 right now in Seattle. Coming up, we will have Luke Ducey here. Look at the press conference yesterday from the governor and attorney general surrounding ICE involvement in the state. We'll also have our legislative update. Jake Goldstein Street from the Washington State Standard will join us at 8:15. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's a brand new Gallup poll out that shows independents are actually now the biggest group in the country.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Does this surprise you?
No, it's like a card trick. People in card tricks, the reason why you get fooled is because you pay attention to what they say and you don't pay attention to what they do. Most people only start paying attention when elections, policies, and things start affecting you.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The administration could be changing its strategy in Minnesota after 2 fatal shootings in Minneapolis. Gregory Bovino, who had been heading up the operation, is being replaced by the president's border czar. Nicole Skanga has the latest.
We're told that he will leave in the coming days, is on his way out. With that, a sort of change and shift in strategy. You're going to see less U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials on the ground. You're going to see more ICE officials. And frankly, there's a new sheriff in town in Tom Homan. We've been told that Tom Homan, the border czar, has approached the president over the past few days saying he could do a better job when it comes to the situation on the ground, and the president is giving him this opportunity.
The president has also decided to shift the focus for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to the southern border. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro on CBS Morning said the mission should be terminated.
I've not heard the president say just because Bovino is out or Noem is out, we're going to stop pulling people over because they have an accent. We're going to stop violating people's constitutional rights.
The chief judge in Minnesota wants the acting head of ICE to appear in his courtroom. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
You see the judges stepping up and trying to get ICE to comply better
with the orders that the court has already issued regarding how immigration and customs enforcement must treat those individuals in their custody.
The winter storm that swept across the country has left behind extreme cold and a lot of ice, and that's still causing travel delays, as Chris Van Cleve reports.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the FAA was looking towards Wednesday as the first day where things were more or less back to normal. But we still expect there to be residual impacts from this storm stretching into Wednesday, even Thursday.
The Trump administration's ordering more national parks to remove signs and displays related to climate change and other issues to get rid of what it calls partisan ideology. Michael Wallace reports.
Glacier National Park has been ordered to remove a description of how climate change is shrinking the glaciers. The Grand Canyon was told to take down a display about the forced removal of Native Americans. An exhibit about George Washington's slave ownership has already been removed from Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia, where Paul Steinke with the Preservation Alliance says visitors are being denied the full story of our history.
It's only by understanding that full story that we can improve and get better over time.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Conference Board says consumer confidence fell sharply in January to its lowest level in
real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
8:03 makes it time for traffic on the threes here on Seattle's Morning News. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And like clockwork, we're talking about the drive out of the north end, especially away from Linwood. For southbound I-5, the brake lights really don't begin now till about 175th, but you're bumper to bumper all the way down past the Ship Canal Bridge. It's an hour and a half from Everett to Seattle with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood, so 25 to 30 minutes behind schedule. For 405, it begins right there at Linwood and goes all the way down now, kind of extending to Totem Lake. So an hour and a half for you guys as well from Everett down into Bellevue. I could use a little help from my KIRO drivers on northbound I-5, looking at some brake lights at the north end of Boeing Field, trying to see if there might be a crash there by the Michigan curve. Let me know on the text line. All in all, Federal Way to Seattle's running at about 50 minutes, about 15 minutes faster than normal. Eastbound across the West Seattle Bridge, we're definitely seeing some braking. Across the lake, it's Lake Washington. We've got some okay drives. I mean, westbound 520 is a little heavier than I'd like, but that's because you're driving actually into the construction zone. Rented to Bellevue, we've got about a 40-minute trip. Behind that, the Valley Freeway's a little over 50. Good news is the crash we had in Tukwila, southbound 405, right there by the Family Fun Center, has moved out of the way. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $600 off windows, $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors, plus enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Don't wait. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
8:04 on the Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. Manda Factor has the day off. I'm Charlie Harger. Governor Ferguson says he is not ruling out deploying the National Guard in response to federal immigration enforcement actions. Meanwhile, a Republican legislative leader is criticizing the governor and the attorney general, likening the two of them to Thelma and Louise over their handling of the issue. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey with more.
Yeah, Charlie, in response to Governor Ferguson, chairman of the Washington State Republican Party, Jim Walsh, is accusing Ferguson and Brown of escalating the issue. In a response to the governor's press conference yesterday, Walsh said in a statement they are encouraging lawlessness and that the two of them are driving themselves off a cliff, just like the movie Thelma and Louise. At the governor's press conference yesterday with Nick Brown, Ferguson reacted to those recent deadly ICE shootings in Minneapolis.
ICE is, to be blunt, completely and totally out of control. To say that I'm angry is not the right word. I don't have the right word for how I feel about it.
After condemning the shootings, Ferguson said he met with the head of the Washington National Guard to discuss potential scenarios, presumably to have guards protect Washington citizens, but he declined to share any specific details.
As angry as we both are, we are focused on preparing to the fullest extent possible for a similar escalation by ICE against our will here in Washington State.
Over the weekend, there were dozens and dozens of protests around the country, including right here in the Pacific Northwest, following the latest shooting by Border Patrol officers of 37-year-old Alex Preddy in Minneapolis over the weekend. Walsh said Washingtonians should be concerned, however, about growing protests aimed at federal immigration enforcement that are boiling over into violence like those shootings that we saw. Well, later today, The King County Council will consider a motion calling on Congress to tighten their purse strings and set stronger guardrails on future funding for Homeland Security. That motion is before the county's Law and Justice Committee. Charlie, we will, of course, stay on top of this developing story.
Okay, Luke. And a retired King County sheriff, a former King County sheriff, rather, is refuting the federal government's version of what happened in that Minneapolis shooting Saturday.
The Department of Homeland Security says federal officers fired defensive shots after a man with a handgun allegedly approached them and violently resisted when officers tried to disarm him. But former King County Sheriff John Urquhart tells G and Ursula video of the incident shows that Alex Preddy had already been disarmed when an officer opened fire.
You cannot do that. They can only shoot them if there is a clear and present threat.
Urquhart calls on the public to put politics aside and judge what happened based on the evidence alone. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Secretary of State Steve Hobbs has certified Initiative 26001. It would fully reinstate the so-called Parents' Bill of Rights initiative that passed into law back in 2024. Now, last year, Democrats in the legislature made several changes to that law, including removing parental access to student medical records. Now, Let's Go Washington founder Brian Haywood is back with this new initiative to restore the original measure. Haywood says parents don't co-parent with the government. Democratic leaders in the legislature have said they will not hold hearings on the initiative. That means voters will likely decide in November.
Seattle's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, welcome to Seattle's Morning News, the Blue Tuesday, January 26th edition of the show. Manda is out today. If you heard her yesterday, she's got the crud that's going around, so she needs the morning to recuperate. But Sully is here. You had the crud.
I still kind of have the crud.
Yeah.
Going into week 3.
I think people listening right now are like, yeah, that is everywhere at my office, my school, wherever it is going around. Producer David Burbank is here with us. He recovered from the crud.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly
definitely.
crud
And
recovered.
I blame Sully. Fully.
It's okay. I take it.
Yeah. Nick Krasha, fit as a fiddle?
No, I'm going through it too. Yeah.
Going through it too? I feel like Neo right now. You know, I am avoiding this crud that's aiming at me. So I'll be fine. Don't worry, guys. I'll be fine. No, I don't want to join you.
It's so fun.
The Seattle's Morning News, hosted by Nick Krasha tomorrow morning.
With traffic with Nick Krasha. With.
Good luck, Nick. We're all counting on you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we are still buzzing from the big Seahawks win on Sunday and prepping for a Super Bowl. We'll be talking about that throughout the hour on the show. And coming up, we'll have our legislative update from Jake Goldstein Street from the Washington State Standard. He joins us at 8:15. And at 8:47, G. Scott weighs in on Seahawks fans looking to head down to Santa Clara for the Super Bowl. 8:09 now. Wall Street Journal reports Amazon is closing all of its Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go retail stores. Company says some of those locations could be changed to Whole Foods stores. Now, last week, Reuters reported that Amazon may be planning up to 14,000 layoffs. Here is Ranji Sinha with KIRO 7 TV.
Now, Amazon is one of our region's largest employers. A spokesperson for the company says it's making organizational changes. A memo posted on Amazon's website says it's staying nimble by making these cuts. That's the word from Senior VP Beth Galati as the company tries to cut 30,000 from its payroll. And layoffs coming in divisions like Amazon Web Services, Retail, Prime Video, and People Experience and Technology departments.
It's 8:10. A little palate cleanser here. Sunday night's trophy ceremony, Lumenfield. Presenter Michael Strahan asked Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald about national expectations for the team heading into the season. Listen to this.
Now coming into the season, you were an afterthought to the Rams, to the 49ers. How did it feel to go through both of those teams to earn your trip to the Super Bowl?
We did not care.
Now, McDonald addressed why he gave that answer on the Brock and Salk show yesterday on 710 Seattle Sports.
Obviously, I'm really good at talking in public. Right? Yes. And so, not in my wildest dreams when I think I'm going to be sitting on a podium talking in front of I didn't realize how, why. It's like in front of the, I don't know, whatever. The world. And so, I didn't know what I was going to say. But then, this is the God's honest truth. Okay, so I'm sitting up there. I'm listening to Cam talk, and I can't hear it. I'm from here. I'm from him to me and Dave.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, if I'm talking, like, do I need to like slow down or something? Like it's an echo and I'm here. It's like, you know, when you sing the national anthem, you're like hearing the person in front of you and you don't hear. So classic overthink, you know? So I'm like, well, maybe I need to slow down when I'm talking and say louder because I can't hear. So I'm like yelling into the mic and like talking all slow, you know? That's why I did it. And then shout out to Michael Sean when as Michael Strahan's asking me the question, I thought of Michael Sean's question that he asked me at the end of camp about like where they had us slated in the thing, and I was like, bro, we really don't care. Remember? And so that's why I said it, because that's the only thing I could think of.
Seeing that on T-shirts already, that is going to be one of the sayings of the season for sure. That is Coach McDonald on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. 8:12 now. Let's get a check on the weather. And it looks like today will be mostly cloudy, headed for a high in the upper 40s to low 50s in Seattle. Rain starts hitting the coast mid-afternoon, maybe 4, 5 o'clock, so late afternoon. And those showers make their way inland towards Seattle. Maybe 10 o'clock is when Nick Allard thinks we might getting showers here. High of 50 tomorrow with showers and rain heavy at times on Thursday. Right now in Seattle, we have clouds. It's 38. Time for traffic on the 3s. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads this morning.
Yeah, we've actually added 10 minutes to the drive now out of Linwood on southbound I-5. You're going to hit the brakes right at the Edmonds exit, and you're on them all the way down into Seattle. Got an hour and 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, an hour and 20 of that just from Linwood. So 35-minute delays minimum for you guys. That's what we've gotten used to. 99 southbound also caught up in this well before Green Lake, all the way down into South Lake Union. 405, a lot of early adopters there. People have gone over early in Linwood, and so we're bumper to bumper all the way down through Totem Lake. Hour and a half from Everett to Bellevue, with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. Lake Bridges, 520 is routinely now the worst of the two bridges. It's running about 25 minutes. You got 22 on I-90. The reason why westbound 520 is so slow is you're actually driving in to part of you guys going to northbound I-5 right through the actual construction zone on the Ship Canal Bridge. There is a little northbound slowing on I-5 there as you work your way from Mercer up past the bridge, but nothing you can't handle. Renton to Bellevue is about 35 to 40 minutes. We have brake lights over the top of I-90 into downtown Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is still about 48 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle running at 50. That's 15 minutes faster than normal. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Well, here we are, week 3 of the 60-day legislative session in Olympia, and there is a lot to go over. We're joined now by Jake Goldstein-Street from the Washington State Standard, who is on the ground following it every day at the state capitol. Jake, thanks for being here with us today, and I was hoping that we could maybe start off with some of the comments from the governor and attorney general yesterday at that press conference, talking about the state preparing for ICE involvement here. What was your big takeaway after seeing that press conference?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Charlie. I mean, Governor Ferguson, Attorney General Brown, I'd say they painted a pretty dark picture of what could come if there was a similar crackdown to what we've seen in Minnesota. If that was to come here, clashes between our state National Guard acting as a buffer between protesters and ICE agents, if that was to come to that, potential issues where state and local law enforcement would potentially need to step in, or at least it would be a complicated situation if they saw uses of force by ICE agents against members of the public. Granted, we should note that, the governor noted he has no specific information to say that some kind of crackdown like that is coming here, but just preparing for that possibility. He had a meeting with the head of the state National Guard a couple days ago over the weekend. This is all happening after the shooting of Alex Purdy in Minneapolis, which has really escalated tensions there and has led to a bit of seems like potentially a retreat from the president in those operations in Minneapolis, but it still remains to be seen.
We expect to see any legislation in Olympia about ICE involvement and the way they arrest people here in the state?
Oh, I mean, there's so many different things that the legislature, especially Democrats, are looking to do when it comes to immigration enforcement. I mean, a hot button one has been the use of masks by federal law enforcement and by any law enforcement that's California passed a similar law last year, and so if Washington passes one, which it seems like it will, that'll probably end up in the courts. The stuff protecting workers from immigration raids that the Attorney General has been pushing, just any number of things that lawmakers are considering on that front.
Now, I think we all got the press release and comments from Jim Walsh, who's not only a state representative, but he's also the chairman of the state Republican Party. He's pushing back on this, right?
Yeah, he is. He sees it as kind of grandstanding that the governor is retreating to kind of safe ground in criticizing the president, as he's done for going back to his time as Attorney General. And, Republicans generally would prefer that the governor focus on issues in this Washington that are hitting right now and not, theorizing about what could come.
Okay. I want to transition here because there are several bills in the legislature right now about the Keeping Families Together Act. First of all, one defining what imminent danger for a child is, whether drug use, fentanyl use in front of a kid is something that would be considered imminent danger. One of those hearings is underway today. What do we know about that?
Yeah, so there's just a few bills dealing with this issue, and it comes down to the rise that we've seen in the past couple of years in fatalities of children who are enmeshed in the state's child welfare system, CPS. That has all come in the past couple of years after what you mentioned, the Keeping Families Together Act, which tried to make it easier for parents to remain with their children instead of having them removed in difficult situations. That led, it seems, to a rise in these incidents. Lawmakers are trying to address that this year. You mentioned dealing with the bar for imminent physical harm, which kind of is what judges use to decide if a child needs to be removed and put in foster care. There's things around improving court oversight. There's like we talked about on immigration, lawmakers, and this is a bipartisan issue, are trying to put a lot of effort into dealing with to stem that rise. What we saw through the first 3 quarters of last year was 15 deaths and 30 near deaths among children. Many of them are infants and toddlers, many, exposed to, synthetic opioids like fentanyl, like you mentioned. And so really trying to deal with that issue.
And it's interesting watching. There's the one proposal from Lillian Ortiz-Self, a Democrat. You've got another proposal from Travis Couture, a Republican. And I find it interesting because, at least on Couture's side, there's bipartisan support, but we're Olympia. You don't necessarily need bipartisan support to get a bill passed, right?
Well, that's absolutely right. I mean, you've got strong Democratic majorities in both the state House and Senate, so you definitely don't. And Representative Ortiz-Self, her opinions on this issue carry a lot of weight. She was the original sponsor of the Keeping Families Together Act. And so I think there's a lot of deference to what she wants to do to move forward here. And she and Representative Couture, obviously, they both want to deal with this issue, but they diverge quite a bit.
Okay, well, we'll keep track of that. Let's talk about the initiatives and how there is a growing push in order to change the way initiative signatures are gathering. What is your reporting finding out, Jake?
Sure. So there's a once again, controversial bill in the legislature. There was another one last year that Republicans dubbed the initiative killer. They have similar rhetoric around this one, dealing with setting standards for gathering signatures for initiatives, dealing with paying signature gatherers, trying to keep that, minimize that. Democrats see it as keeping money out of politics, Republicans seeing it as muzzling kind of our one way of direct democracy in this state. There were proposals to, set a standard of how many signatures you needed to get to even qualify for an initiative. This is a bill that's moving through the process. But Democrats are pushing for this. Republicans are staunchly opposed. The head of Let's Go Washington, who's been pushing a lot of the initiatives and stirring this push from Democrats, has opposed it. Current and former secretaries of states from both sides of the aisle have opposed. And so it'll be definitely an interesting debate going forward.
And they were able to stop it last year, right?
Yeah, that did not move forward last year. Didn't make much progress.
Okay.
So we're back again this year.
All right. We've got a deadline approaching. So definitely watching that one. One thing I always find interesting is EV regulations, especially how companies are trying to sell them. Talk to me about what Rivian is trying to push ahead in Washington State.
So for years, Tesla has had kind of a monopoly on being able to sell EVs directly to consumers and not through a dealership, and being able to do it through their own storefronts. They've been the only ones who have been able to do this, the sole exception. And for years, companies like Rivian, Lucid, other EV competitors of Tesla are trying to get that same right and haven't had luck at the legislature. Those efforts have stalled out. And so now Rivian has pushed almost $5 million that they've committed to a potential ballot initiative to take this to voters and to be able to get direct EV sales for all of them. I mean, Rivian and Lucid both have storefronts, both at University Village in Seattle, ironically, but aren't able to sell, take consumers on test drives. So they're trying to get that right as well.
Okay, and you're also reporting, Jake, about what is going on with the mobile home parks. This is a real key issue. This is affordable housing for so many people. What is happening in Olympia with mobile homes?
Yeah, so last year, one of the marquee laws that lawmakers passed, Democrats, was House Bill 1217. This set a cap on residential and manufactured home rents. A lot of the attention was on the residential side at 7% plus inflation with a 10% cap. On the manufactured home side, that's 5% annually. Now, manufactured home owners, especially those in Spokane County, are suing the state, saying that that law is unconstitutional. It has a variety of issues. It doesn't give them room if there's an emergency that they need to raise rents higher. They have leases that they've signed with tenants that allow for larger rent increases that have had to be null and void. And obviously manufactured homes are an interesting issue here because you have homeowners who own their home but not the land they're on, and so they're renting that land. And so it's a complicated issue. It's one that's going to be playing out in the courts.
Okay. Well, we'll be following it all on the Washington State Standard, WashingtonStateStandard.com. Jake Goldstein Street, thank you for joining us this morning. We'll check in with you next week.
Thanks, and go Seahawks.
Go Hawks. All right. I like that. 8:23, we head over to Sully at the traffic desk.
And we are dealing with a relatively normal Tuesday. Brake lights right where they should be. For those of you coming down from the north end, it's what we've gotten used to. Hour and 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Hour and 10 from Linwood to Bellevue. So 25 to 30-minute delays over what you might have expected. But that's our reality going through the Revive I-5 work. Going the other direction, the Federal Way to Seattle Drive had a couple of our friends out there on the roads, including our good friend Adam, the Staples driver, who's let me know that other than volume, there isn't anything on northbound I-5 as you approach the Michigan curve. But we are running around 52 minutes, Federal Way to Seattle, which is about 15 minutes faster than normal. Northbound 167, we've got about a 48-minute trip for you guys. Heaviest spot there is from 180th on in. In fact, we're really nice through Auburn. Rented to Bellevue is about 40 minutes, maybe a little under. Both lake bridges are okay. 520 is a little heavier, especially through Montlake as you work up to I-5 as you're driving right into the actual construction zone. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. We do have a little bit of slowing on westbound 16, northbound 3, right around the Sinclair Inlet and Gorst, looking to see if we might have a crash just before you get into Bremerton. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $600 off windows, $1,500 off doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors, plus enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Clouds today, a high of 51, potential of showers late in the evening. Right now, it's 37 downtown. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, more of the day's top local stories, including a Seahawks preview with Luke Ducey. Commercial word here. Let me get this straight. You work hard your whole life. I mean decades, early mornings, long hours, the whole thing. You save, you sacrifice, you finally get to retire. And the government wants what, 30, 40% in taxes? I'm sorry, I must have missed the meeting where we all agreed that was fair. Well, here's the good news. You don't have to just accept it. The tax strategies wealthy families use, well, if you have saved more than $300,000, they are available to you. Boss Retirement Solutions right here in Seattle offers a free retirement tax savings analysis. There's no obligation. It's just an honest look at what you could be keeping and not paying in taxes. So if you have more than $300,000 saved, call them. 206-210-1350. Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys. Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
Power of 12 is one is real.
Whole city going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it.
The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO Newsradio.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
Did you know that 25% of your home's heat loss is through your attic? Hot air rises, and if your attic isn't properly insulated, the hot air is going to rise right through your ceiling, into your attic, and out your roof that's far past its half-life. That sounds cold and expensive. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. If this sounds like your house, it's time to call Valentine. And right now, Valentine has a great winter special. Bundle attic insulation with any new roof, and you'll save an additional 10% off your entire project. Plus, with Valentine's financing options, they make it easy. No matter what your home needs, insulation, gutters, siding, or a new roof, you are guaranteed the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service, even in winter weather. My home is protected by Valentine. They keep me off the roof, which my wife and kids are extremely grateful for. I trust them to help you too. To lock in your winter bundle savings, call 206 Roofing today. Again, that's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine vans, you know your home is in good hands. 206 Roofing.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Thanks for joining us. We have learned that today could be the day that Amazon starts some mass layoffs, and already Amazon Go and Amazon Fresh stores are on the chopping block. Here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Amazon says grocery sales have taken off over the last 20 years, but the company wants to prioritize online orders and delivery along with select in-person experiences. Orders of perishable groceries through same-day delivery have shot up 40 times since January 2025, and the company is testing Amazon Now 30-minute delivery in parts of Seattle and Philadelphia. So Amazon Go and Amazon Fresh stores will close nationwide. Some will convert to Whole Foods, and Amazon will add more of those locations in the coming years. You can read more about this on mynorthwest.com. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
12 days ago until the Super Bowl, but who's counting? And us 12s are very excited about the Seahawks being there. Luke Ducey is following everything we need to know about the game leading up to Santa Clara, and he joins us live.
Oh, let's go back to Sunday's game for a second, shall we? That was one of those kind of where were you when kind of games in the 12s. Oh, they are riding high.
I'm a ride or die for every Seattle sports team. You know, we saw the Mariners go to the AL Championship Series this year, and now the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. So I just say right now is a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
You know, all morning we've been asking you, what was your favorite play of the game in the NFC Championship? Charlie, you told me you loved Kenneth Walker just dominating the first quarter.
Walker, handoff to him, starts up the middle. He's going to bounce it right side. He goes in. Touchdown, Seahawks. From 2 yards out.
First score of the game, he finished with 62 yards rushing, 49 receiving, and that one touchdown right there. So you want to go to the game? Well, you still can. Plenty of tickets available on Ticketmaster. I looked at this morning, $10,000 in the upper deck of Levi Stadium down in Santa Clara. Around $56,000 for the 50-yard line behind the Seahawks sideline. Good luck with that. If you can afford it, good for you. But airline tickets, you got to fly there too. I guess you could drive. Several carriers are adding extra flights from Seattle to the Bay Area. Alaska Airlines is adding about 16 additional round-trip flights to San Jose and San Francisco. I saw tickets for about $1,200 this morning, round trip though, out of SeaTac. $750 for a round-trip Super Saver flight out of Payne Field. You would think that's not bad, but that's usually a $250 ticket for like a 2.5-hour flight. So that's getting up there. All right. Check this out. You ready for this next bit? I want you to check this out on the YouTube feed. I also posted this video on X at Luke KIRO. When Sam Darnold was with the Carolina Panthers, he was asked to draw a Panthers logo. Well, during his first press conference, you might remember this, here in Seattle when he was introduced to the fans, he was asked to draw the Seahawk. And there he goes. Watch that while I play you sound of when he was drawing that.
I know you like to draw, so...
Oh, my God. Can I leave? I can leave now?
So we thought maybe you could try to draw the Seahawks logo.
Oh,
yeah,
my
his
God.
reaction, can I leave now? I just said, well, that's what he drew. It's absolutely horrible.
Oh.
If he was it's not. Oh, it's horrible. If we were a 5-year-old, we'd be saying, that's beautiful, honey. That's fantastic. He's an adult. So I put that video on social media as well. I also wanted to talk to you about this. Let's play this other video on the YouTube feed. This is of Darnold at practice, one of the practices, and his teammates. Someone has made this into a T-shirt and hoodies, and they presented it with him. And again, oh my God, is his reaction, and they show it to him. You can see him wearing this before games. I'm going to stand up for a second because
there it is. You're wearing it right now.
I bought one. I bought it in blue, but it can't. I don't care. I got one. Just to fix, it's fantastic. It's fantastically horrible. Super Bowl 60, though, if you didn't know, is going to be a rematch with the Patriots. Super Bowl harking back to Super Bowl 49. Here on Seattle's Morning News, I just want to tell you, Charlie, between now and kickoff, we've got you covered. We've got everything from just what we mentioned, tickets and flights and the latest news. We'll have all of that between now and then, but also all those stories that you won't hear anywhere else. So stay tuned. Can't wait. Go Hawks.
And we're the home of the Seahawks on the Super Bowl. You'll be able to listen to the game right here on KIRO News Radio. Sully, you are at the traffic desk.
And we're struggling coming down to the north end. Still an hour and a half to make it from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, with an hour and 10 to an hour and 15 of that away from Linwood. That's become our reality. Coming up the other way, we're looking at Federal Way to Seattle at under 50 minutes, so 20 minutes ahead of schedule. West Seattle Bridge, a little slowing eastbound, but nothing you can't handle. Lake bridges are okay, though 520 is a little heavier than 990. Renton to Bellevue is about 35 minutes, and the Valley Freeway's cleared out nicely. It's only running 45 minutes at this point. This report brought to you by the Tacoma Tacoma Home and Garden Show, which is presented by Puyallup Chocolates, January 29th, February 1st. Tacoma Dome. Visit TacomaHomeandGardenShow.com for tickets.
High of 51 today. Showers late. Showers throughout the day tomorrow. Highs in the 50s. Right now in Seattle, it's 37.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, you might know what an electric bicycle is, but you power it yourself. You get a boost from the motor to help you up hills, but there are e-bikes that are more like electric dirt bikes, and the legislature wants to rein them in. Sully, you are here with details.
Yep, and they want to change what the definitions are and what the regulations might be to catch up with the technology, because the e-bike that you may have just bought your child could be illegal, and you may not know it, because if it doesn't have pedals, it's really not considered an e-bike under current rules, and you may not have known that. And if the legislature has its way, pedalless bikes could soon be considered motorcycles, requiring driver's ed, a license, and maybe extra insurance, and restricting who is able to ride them or not. Now, you've probably seen the kids in your neighborhood screaming around on some of these bikes, on the sidewalks, the streets, no helmets, on paths. It's dangerous, and many parents don't know the actual rules or hazards. So under today's rules, there are 3 different types of electric bicycles. Class 1, e-bikes that have pedals, can't go more than 20 miles an hour. Class 2, can't go more than 20 miles an hour, has a throttle assist. Class 3, must have pedals, max of 28 miles an hour, and only anyone over 16 can ride these. Max battery strength for any electrical e-bike, 750 watts. So the legislature wants to create a work group to update the regulations and better define what an e-bike is and isn't. Stephen Ellis is with the Association of Washington Cities, who testified in favor of the idea at the House Transportation Committee.
This is not an attempt to undercut adoption of electric bicycles. It's not an attempt to criminalize kids. The intent behind this bill is to provide clarity so that cities can take steps to make sure that these vehicles are operated safely and that no one gets hurt.
And one of the things they might look to do is redefine e-bikes as saying they can only go 20 miles an hour. They can only have pedals and no more than a 750-watt battery. That's something that they're going to figure out. Bikes not meeting those requirements would be considered e-motorcycles. And then the work group would then define who can or can't ride them, what training they must undergo, whether to require licenses, and then they would have these findings ready to look at the legislature next session. So they're only looking at what they can do to redefine right now, not necessarily changing the rules. Chris Mendoza is a daily bike rider, and he says it's getting really dangerous out there.
E-bikers, more powerful ones, they're zigzagging their way in and out of traffic, on the trail, strollers, toddlers, dog walkers, pedestrians. It's becoming extremely dangerous.
Claire Goodrich was injured riding an e-bike with a friend. She's a Kirkland High School student. She testified as well.
At this age, I was completely unaware of the dangers e-bikes can bring. I was uneducated on how the speed of an e-bike can quickly lead to loss of control.
No one testified against the idea in the House hearing, but I will tell you that these super powerful bikes are very popular with young kids, very popular with parents, giving them to their kids. And, they probably will not like these potential rule changes, but it's a good reminder for parents to make sure they know what they're buying, exactly what the current regulations are, and how they might change going forward. Just remember, a good rule of thumb is if it doesn't have pedals, it's really not an e-bike. Even though the law isn't clear on this, that's what they're trying to do, is trying to clarify things, figure out what they can do to make this safer, and maybe kind of rein in some of the things we're seeing in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, and the rotten apples spoil the whole bunch, right? Because here's what we do with Sam, my 13-year-old. He has one of these electric dirt bikes. I'm not going to apologize for it. He wears a full motorcycle helmet, and we also have a GPS tracker on the dude. So that measures his speed limit. So we know if he's going any faster than is legally allowed, and we get an immediate report on our phone. Now, there are some of these bikes, guys, they can go 70, 80 miles an hour. That is something I'm not sure I would want to give a middle schooler.
And certainly something that shouldn't be riding on trails and paths or sharing sidewalks with people jogging or walking their kids.
All right. Well, you have a full write-up on mynorthwest.com, so we should check it out. Traffic coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Doubted.
More questions about Sam Darnold.
Underestimated.
I would say 10-7.
Questioned at every turn.
The question mark on this team is the offensive line.
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
The only place you'll hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Detailed.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
8:43, let's check in with Sully for traffic.
And we have settled in. We're trying to cool things off as we approach 9 o'clock. Most of our commuting routes are doing okay. The exception, of course, is southbound I-5 from about 175th and Shoreline, now all the way down through the downtown core. We still have about an hour and a half trip from Everett into Seattle. Still have about an hour and a half trip from Everett into Bellevue. For 405, you hit the brakes just south of Lindenwood, and you're on them through Totem Lake. 99 jammed up all the way from well before Northgate through Greenwood, around Green Lake, and then down into South Lake Union. Westbound across 520, a little slowing. You're actually driving into the Ship Canal Bridge closures there. Looking at northbound I-5, really not bad. There are some brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge, but a 50-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle is about 15 minutes faster than normal. Valley Freeway is cleared out really nicely, as has most of Pierce County. Rented to Bellevue is only 35 minutes. So all in all, we're getting there, except for that drive out of Snohomish County. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high of 51 today. Cloudy, a chance of showers late in the day. More showers tomorrow and heavy rain on Thursday. 38 right now in Seattle. Coming up, G. Scott stops in with how fans are planning to get down to San Francisco for the Super Bowl. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
Hi, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let him know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X, outsmart the elements.
Our first Mark Challenge victory is Aaron McCoy from McCoy Home Solutions, yet another small business owner that took the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Aaron, why did you make the call to First Mark Insurance?
My company has grown to a space where we need a higher level of coverage. A couple of factors led me to say, boy, I really need to find something new, and First Mark really rang that bell.
First Mark save you and your business money?
Oh, yeah. They have decreased overall expense in a couple categories by up to 30%, coverage in a couple of areas by greater than 50%. They've offered coverage in 2 new categories that I think are pertinent for my business, and they've greatly impacted what that coverage and those margins look like.
Kind of wish you made the call earlier.
I absolutely do. Yeah.
So if you're a small business owner that wants to take the stress of insurance off your plate, do what Aaron McCoy did for McCoy Home Solutions. Make the call to First Mark Insurance. They're your teammate that goes to work for you. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Day and Night gives you a free furnace or water heater with installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace or water heater from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
8:48, and joining us from the G and Ursula Show and the Reset Podcast, G. Scott is here this morning. G, we are gearing up for the Super Bowl. A lot of people want to go.
Yeah, they do want to go to the big game, and right now you might see a $1,200 round trip ticket for a 2-hour flight down to San Francisco. You know, I was reading up here, shout out to the Seattle Times, because they had a nice little write-up about this, and they're basically telling people what you should and should not do. Here we go through it. Basically, they're saying there's a Super Bowl travel rush right now, and fans right now in Seattle area are booking their flights fast. As a matter of fact, Delta Airlines has added extra flights. Alaska Airlines, 16, 17 more flights. I mean, it's crazy. Sounds generous, right? Yeah, but prices keep going up because, you know, by the way, the prices aren't going up because the planes became more expensive this week. Prices are going up because excitement makes people emotional. Any of you guys ever emotionally spend? Any of you guys ever at the grocery store at Safeway, and when you're standing right there getting ready to check out, there's the gum and all the candies right there, and then the little Charlies of the world. Mom, Dad, can I have some candy?
The impulse buys.
The impulse buy is sitting right there. So here is my advice to you. Well, according to the Times, book now, because we know if you wait too long, you will get punished. But if you jump too fast, you could possibly overpay. Either way, the house always wins. The airlines always wins. And let this be a perfect example. If that's how America works. When demand spikes, all fairness goes out the window.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. So I made it sound like that right there. But now y'all ready for G's advice?
I am ready.
Let me tell you what you should be doing. if I were you, I would bypass the travel on the airplanes.
Okay.
I would get in the vehicle and go 12, 13 hours by car down to San Francisco. Hold on, I'm not done. Then, instead of staying close to the stadium or San Francisco, I'd kind of stay about 45 minutes out and stay in one of those budget hotels with the family. Then I'd hang out. I'd go down maybe Wednesday and hang out all the festivities, go close to the stadium, take pictures. There's all kinds of things that you could do, hang out with the family. And then when it's game time, I would watch the game somewhere locally on TV, because if there's one thing that I do know, Super Bowls are made for TV viewing. The game itself is kind of underwhelming. The only thing the game is for is so you can tell Chris Sullivan I was there. If that's the case, have somebody take a picture, and you can Photoshop you and the family in there, and you can voila and put it for the gram. Is that the Tasmanian devil? Is that how I just came and did that topic? I mean, I'm just telling you. I used to be broke. I know how to be broke. And that's how you do it. If I'm right now, I would not be. I mean, just think about this. A family of 4 trying to fly down to San Francisco. What we doing? Come on, Lois. Go ahead. Go to get a rental car. Minivan. By the way, minivans are fun. Get a minivan. Everybody in the family get in there, and you drive down, and you will have more memories that way than doing 3-4 tickets on an airline. What we doing by?
But if you're spending $56,000 on a single seat at the Super Bowl, does it really matter if you're paying an extra $750 on a, coach seat on a Alaska Airlines flight?
Let me tell you something, Charlie.
Yeah. $56,000.
If I got $5 on my desk and you walk by and you take my $5, you see what I'm saying?
I would never take your $5.
But if you did take my $5, it would matter, because I need that $5.
Yeah.
Right? And so this whole idea, I'm telling you, get these planes. I think it would be more fun if you just get in the car, drive down. It's beautiful anyways. It's a great drive down there. It's a great opportunity. All you do is listen to Sully, text in to Sullivan, and be like, hey, Sully, what's my plan? Boom, you take I-5. Done.
Yeah. I think the most shocking statement from you, though, G, was minivans are fun. I think you just said that.
Wait. Minivans are fun for road trips. No, come on now. Now, I know what they look like. Forget what they look like. They are awesome for road trips. You're rolling now. If you got money like Charlie, then you get you a Sprinter van. If you got money like that. But I just think I would be curious. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask about this on my show.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, are there going to be any families and people that just plan to just drive down? I think, though, whoever you are, you will have way more memories that way. It'll be way more fun. And more importantly, it'll be way cheaper.
Did that drive a lot of times in college. It can be fun. Okay. Thank you, G. G and Ursula coming up 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio. Speaking of fun, Chris Sullivan is here with traffic.
G, you can be excused.
Thanks, man.
By the way, you're not wrong. Super Bowls are some of the boringest games.
It's boring.
National championship games, boring as hell. There's just no vibe.
I'm not just saying that.
I know. I haven't been to several. Of course, it's easy to say that when you've been to several.
Yeah,
but
I've been to several. Okay, Sully. Rub it in. You need traffic.
Well, we're looking at hour-and-a-half trips from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue still. So still 25 to 30 minutes behind schedule. Northbound I-5, not bad. Federal Way to Seattle looking really good till you get up to the north end part of that drive. Still 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, which is 15 minutes faster than normal. Valley Freeway's cleared out nicely, only 45 minutes or less. Renton to Bellevue's under 40. Lake Bridges are still in okay shape, and we're looking good from Olympia to Tacoma. This report brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoff gear with custom, simple, original designs. Shop in-store or online and enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com.
Forecast calls for cloudy skies today, a high of 51 in Seattle. Showers start hitting the coast around 4, Seattle area around 10 tonight. Right now in Seattle it's 37. Coming up, it's the G and Ursula Show right here on KIRO News Radio. Thanks for listening to Seattle's Morning News.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
It's time to eat, boys. Super Bowl, here we come.
Can you believe it?
We're just a really good football team that's tough and connected.
Welcome to the dark side.
Power of 12 is 1 is real.
Whole city going up like it's our time.
All the 12s across the country and all the 12s across the globe.
You know how we do it.
The only place to hear Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Have you thought about how your finances should change in 2026? Well, my friends at WaFd Bank can help. Right, Brad?
Right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. You also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me about this voice-activated banking I've been hearing about.
You can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full, which, let's face it, is probably most of the time. You'll also have access to free tools like person-to-person payments with Zelle, mobile check deposit, intuitive new debit card management tools to turn your card on and off, set spending notifications, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And you can choose from those great-looking Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves debit cards. So visit wafdbank.com to open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest.